Hello, everyone. We're here again. It's Wednesday, and this is episode 53. And once again, he's here, the man, Delboy. Yes. So, how are you?
I'm all right. I've just got something to say to Cy Robson. Cy, how dare you turn up early? How dare I've saw you queuing up since Tuesday. You took up a place of somebody who was actually in a wheelchair trying to get into this bloody recording today. How dare you do that? There are people, that have never been in this place before in their lives, and there you are, bloody I tell you, sod you, you little shit. Oh, yeah. Hello, everyone.
He's off again.
I hope
He's got
everyone's okay.
the Delboy rant. It started. Watch out. Watch out. There's a Delboy rant about. And it started. Oh, brilliant. Well, you've got to have a bit of fun, haven't you? So, the normal question I ask every week, same time, same back channel, is what have you been watching?
To be quite honest, with my mum like she is, it's very difficult for me to watch anything. But I have. It was Easter, so there was times where I was able to watch films that I've seen before, so I could sort of like carry on watching something and know what I'd missed. And over Easter we had such a quilt of colors when it comes to types of films that were on. I mean, I watched a lot of the religious ones, like The Robe, King of
Yeah.
Kings, Ben Hur, that was there. And yet I also turned over the channel, and there was other channels doing the Carry On films, and even to the point of doing the TV series turned into films, like On the Buses, Holiday on the Buses, Mutiny on the Buses. There was Rising Damp. I saw that. Man About the House, the film. I saw that. And the only other film that didn't really fit into any of those, but was so still enjoyable, and I love it to death, because it goes from my childhood, and that's Born Free, about
God,
Elsa the lion. And I've
Does that still
always loved,
stand up?
I've always loved that film.
Have you? All right.
I think it's down to, again, the music. John Barry doing a fantastic score. I mean, was it Matt Monroe that sang the song originally?
Yeah, that's right. It was. Yeah, yeah.
Which has beautiful lyrics.
Yeah.
In it. And and even though it veers well off of the true story of Elsa the lion, because I have obviously looked up upon it, later on in life to find out, was that really how it was? Is that really how it ended? With the lion coming back with its cubs and then going back off into the the undergrowth. Obviously, I mean, it's just a lovely film. It's a nice ending, to a film that didn't want to sort of like hurt people's feelings, because I'm sure that wasn't the original ending. I've forgotten now what the ending was with Elsa. But I think they made a TV series out of it as well, if I remember right.
I don't remember that.
Yeah. And I watched, believe it or not, a couple of episodes of Ron Eli as Tarzan.
Oh, yeah.
Right? with Jai.
Yeah.
He was called Jai in this, the little lad, Jai is that. And of course, I've caught up with the new series of The Last of Us, which is in season 2. Which had an incredibly shock ending at the end of episode 2 that I won't ruin for anybody because it was only broadcast on Monday. Everybody in the internet has exploded over this episode. I think a lot of people knew it was coming, because if you played the computer game, you'll know what The Last of Us is. and who this particular character is. But yeah, wow, that was a shock ending of a shock. And it's great if you like zombie films, you know, like Day of the Dead and all of that sort of stuff. So, you know, that's it really for me. Listening music wise, Elton John did his concert from the Palladium with Brandy. For his new album. I know that you've bought a couple of Elton John albums just recently.
I
must admit, when you told me where you got them from, I decided I'd look on Amazon and find out how much his old albums cost now on Amazon. There were very, very few, other than the very latest ones, that were above £4.95.
Well, that's good. It's cheap. I like it. I like it.
Bloody hell, £4.95. You got Captain Fantastic and the
that
double album.
That new one isn't though. The triple album's quite expensive. Diamonds, I think.
Oh yeah, but that really is an anthology album.
Yeah, it looks good. I fancied it.
The Diamonds comes in many different forms, because there was a double album, then there was a treble album.
That's the treble one that I'd want to get. Definitely.
Yeah, that's the one with the red cover.
Yeah, but that was expensive. It was a bit more expensive. But
I think the cheapest I've seen it for was £12.95.
Yeah, which isn't bad, is it, for
a treble album?
A triple album, it's pretty good, I would say.
That's £4 a side.
Yeah. But I've noticed that CDs, some of them now, newer releases, are a bit more expensive than they were. I don't know whether it's a sign of things happening, but they have gone up
all I can say is, whatever you do, don't go to somewhere like HMV, Amazon, and you type in soundtracks to films, because I tell you what, you'll be going, fuck that. Jesus Christ.
Well, it's all the vinyl stuff as well, isn't it? Bloody hell. Everybody's mad about vinyl, apart from me.
Well, you can look at my Star Trek The Motion Picture, which is a free disc CD that I bought from Amazon, and I bought it and it was $25.95. It's out of print now, and it's all down to second-hand sellers, and it's like £110 now. It's like, how much? £110 for free CDs?
Absolutely.
What I do, buying the CD plant that pressed it. You know what I mean? Are they doing a special pressing just for me by switching all the machines back on? You know what I mean? For 110 quid.
Yeah.
Shall I mention his name already? Am I getting Jerry Goldsmith to reschool the damn thing and then record it specially for me on this bloody disc? There we are. We got him out the way early.
We've got him out the way.
But you know, I mean, I do like to look and see what old prices are.
Yeah.
You know, just to see whether, you know, it's not that I collect them for money. It's just I like to know why they're so expensive.
Yeah. Actually, that is a good topic I've been thinking about, but I won't go into a rant about it. But you know, we don't collect things to make money, do we? We collect things, you know, that if they're expensive or go out of print because we want that particular thing. I think some people have this impression that you buy something and you know, and it becomes rare, and you're going to make a lot of money. But I don't think a collector does that. They collect for the film.
I must admit that. I mean, when I say I don't do that, there is what I'm too much of a hoarder. I don't even chuck the box out that things come in.
Yeah,
I'm terrible. Yeah. I have the styrofoam in case I need to put it back in the box and stick it up in the attic, right? So it doesn't rattle about. I keep all that crap.
Yeah,
but I've always looked at it like this. I've always wanted at some point to display everything I've got, put things on shelves.
Yeah.
Look at it for the very last time in my life as a whole thing that was on a shelf that I could walk along and go, oh wow, look at that. Right.
Yeah.
but I've also got the impression that I'd like to pass it on to somebody else that might appreciate it as well. It's in my family. And if they don't appreciate it, then they can sell it on and they will find that life is a lot easier for themselves.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So there would be probably a time, and it might be sooner rather than later, in regards where I might have to sell or look at my stuff and sell it to pay for my care for my mum or anything. I will have to certainly look and go, that was just something I bought because it goes with this, that, and the other. But if I got rid of this, that, and the other, then that one becomes less needed in my collection. So sell that along with this, and I reduce things down to just the core of what I want. But I always in the back of my mind have this thing that says, well, that was a waste of time buying that. Then you never even got to watch it.
Yeah.
What the bloody hell did you buy that for?
But on the other hand, are there some lines, like for instance, I bet you wouldn't sell anything connected with Star Trek the motion picture.
No,
because it's your special thing. No. I wouldn't anything connected with Dune 1984. I wouldn't sell anything. I'm still looking. Sometimes I spend time looking at anything connected with Dune 1984 because I was looking, the playing card, the trading cards, but it's too expensive. You need a bank account that's massive. I haven't got that, but there we are.
The other thing I watched over the weekend was really I watched an awful lot of films to try and answer Wee Bob Art's community question. He brought out a community question about music that made your jaw dropped at the time from any film, TV, and game. So I started to look at my collection and go, do you know what? The amount of times I've watched that, and I've watched it because I like the music in it, right? And then I've tried to find the scene where my jaw dropped in it, and I was going, do you know what? The whole thing was just brilliant. I don't think there was a scene in that. So then I've had to move on to another one. That's where Born Free came from a little bit. It was like, I love the music in that and all that.
Yeah.
And there wasn't one bit that I went, oh, well, that was the jaw dropping moment in it. No, it was all great.
Yeah.
It was a bit of a waste of time. What I have done, and I don't know whether I haven't publicly made this announcement, but in fact, actually, it was encouraged by you.
Oh, really?
I created a playlist on my channel, and what I did was I made it public.
Yeah.
And I went to YouTube and started to put film score music, tracks from film scores that I like.
Oh, fantastic.
So now if anybody goes to my channel and goes to playlist, they'll see films for music from films and TV.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And then when they click on it, they'll go, oh, what's this Georges Delarue interlude then?
Yeah. That's a good idea. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely worth doing. Yeah.
So I've done that. Or should I say I've started to do that? I've put about 26. I've put about 26 tracks in there because the thing about it is, as soon as you start looking for the tracks that you want, you listen to the bloody music while you're
and it's delaying you. Yeah.
And I've gone, Christ, I've just listened to 26 tracks of music and 2.5 hours has just gone by. Jesus Christ, what the hell? So that wasn't the greatest.
You know something? I must ask you this: when you upload the video that you've done, I forget to put them in the playlist, and then sort of sometimes a bit later I'm thinking, oh, have I put that in maybe a few weeks later, because I'm conscious. I'm telling people, oh, look in the playlist, of this. And I'm behind on the playlists. I must try and get it organized better.
I know why that is. You keep bloody doing this upcoming crap. Bloody hell, you bastard. If I've turned around and I've said to you a million times, stop doing this upcoming crap, you bastard. I want it now. I don't want to wait 5 days to find out that this thing comes out and it's 10 minutes long. What's this shit? Bloody do it now. And then that's when you start moving it into your playlist, don't you? No wonder you've got to keep going back then, haven't you? And putting it in.
Well, I've been putting these lives in a playlist, so hopefully people can look back and think, "Oh my God, that's what they were still going on about a year ago." Yeah.
So, my friend, before we go straight into all of the comments, because we need to get cracking, I want to know what you've been watching, what you've been listening to, and what you've been buying.
I'll tell you what.
Hang on, let me rephrase that. Please, can you tell me what Tony York has sent you this week, you bastard?
Well, that'll come. But I was so excited. This came this morning, and well, I just put it on again.
Oh,
okay. We know the limitations of it, but to see Patrick Troughton in colour, and I just loved it. It's a steelbook as well for me.
And it's on how many discs? How many discs?
It's got there's only one Blu-ray, which is the the War Games color version, and then there's 3 other discs, isn't there? There's DVD.
There's 3 discs in total.
But they're a DVD. That's the only. I thought there'd be at least update to Blu-ray, but it doesn't matter. It's Patrick Troughton, and I do love this steelbook.
Well, what I thought was good though was you got all 10 episodes.
Yeah.
Right. You got new documentaries plus the old documentaries.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you got the colorized version as which is what the new bit was.
Yeah.
And if you didn't buy it in steelbook format, because I think it is out without steelbook, it's actually not too different to the price it was when it was released on DVD, isn't it? And it's like a $14.95 or $12.95 or something. Bit of a bargain, really.
Yeah.
And I think even the documentaries make it worthwhile because of the colorization.
Yeah. Yeah. It'll be interesting to know what they do next, because I think they'll continue doing these colorized versions.
Yeah.
I wonder if it'll be another a William Hartnell one. I think they might go for next. We'll see what happens. Let's see. Yeah. Now films. Here's your Tony bit. Well, no, they're in first. There's this. That ain't Tony. Like you mentioned it, but I mean
that looks nothing like Tony. That looks like Charlton.
It's a Blu-ray.
That looks like Charlton. It looks nothing like Tony. I know what Tony looks
it's
like.
Brilliant. I think you said it all. It's just Easter, isn't it? This film. I think it's perfect time for Easter. It's a proper film. They don't make them like this anymore.
Did that have 2 cuts of the film on it?
Yes, this has got. I think this has got the 2 cuts. Yes, it's got 2 cuts on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
I'll tell you what. The 4K is gorgeous.
Yeah. I didn't think there was a 4K of Ben-Hur. It's 10 Commandments.
I think I've got the 4K of it. I'm pretty sure I've got a 4K of it.
I think it's 10 Commandments.
If it isn't 4K, I tell you what, it bloody looks like 4K.
Yeah, I don't think it is. It's not out on 4K.
You're quite right. I think you're right. It's the 10 Commandments.
It's 10 Commandments. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just looking. No, it's on 4K.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh. Really? I've not seen anybody mention or show it.
Well, according to this, it is. Hang on, I'm just going to Blu-ray.com because I don't believe it.
No, I've not seen anybody mention.
Hang on.
Unless it's a German version or something like that.
Yeah, hang on, just a moment. It's 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray disc. It is blah 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 blah. Pre-order.
So it's not come out. It's coming out. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh. When's it due out then? No date.
Just trying to find the date now.
Yeah.
It's Blu-ray and 4K. Yeah. Yeah, the version I've got is here as well, the free disc digipack version.
Yeah.
That's the one I've got. According to this, it was supposed to be out February 16th this year, but it's been put back.
Ah, right.
There you are. And they've been talking about the 4K of it since 2016.
Oh. Well, we might get one still. We might get one.
I know that I've got a steel book of it. That's what probably made me go it's 4K. But of course I do buy Blu-rays on a steel book. So yeah. But the Ten Commandments is great. It's got him lifting the tablet in a lovely red background. Yeah. It's gorgeous. Fantastic. That is. But I sent you a video of the why does Ben-Hur look like $1 million even now?
Yeah. And
I must admit, it is a gorgeous film.
Yeah, it does look.
When you consider that the Chariot race took 6 months to film.
Yeah, and
they had cameras on cars going around, and they had to gauge the distance.
Yeah,
to get it to look as lovely as it did.
Yeah,
they had to work out the exact distance it was from the horses to make it look.
Yeah.
Like it does in those scenes,
and it looks fantastic now, doesn't it? It's fantastic. No special effects.
Because of the way that the dummies fell and then went under the wheels. You had to make it so that it looked like an actual actor went under the wheels.
Yeah, no
CGI.
It's fantastic. Yeah,
no CGI in them days. It was all painted.
Hey, buy it, go on, lad. Hey,
it was all painted shots.
Yeah.
With quarries, with a painted shot of Rome or whatever.
Buy it, and we all had Ovis.
Actual sets and how many extras? I mean, I have to ask you, Ian. When you were an extra in that Ben-Hur scene, right, in the crowd when you were doing the chariot scene, right, how much did you get a day? How much did you get a day when you were
about threepence.
Threepence.
We didn't get paid much then, lad. Threepence.
I heard they wanted you so badly that they paid for your flight to go over there.
Yeah. Oh dear. What can you say? Anyhow, I'll just mention one more film before we get on. And it's a Tony film, as you call them, but I think this is it's good. This is the Battle of the River Plate, which is set in 1939, so it's at the beginning of the Second World War, and the Germans have this big cruiser, the Graf Spee, I think that's how you pronounce it, and where we want to get it because it's going to cause a lot of harm. All the shipping that it's going to, the merchant ships as well as the battle destroyers. It's a big thing. They've got to get it, and it's the story of how the Allies were able to get it. But in the end, they scuppered the ship rather than get it fall to the Allies, bombing it. But it's a great story. And it's the start, of course, of the Second War, that period, because there's a period where it's called the Phony War, which is sort of after war is declared, nothing seems to be much going on in Europe, but this is in South America, and all things are just beginning to get going, and it's brilliant. I loved it. Peter Finch is really good as this German commander as well. He's brilliant. And then you've got the usual people that you expect. Jack Hawkins. How many times does Jack Hawkins pop up in these films? And Bernard Lee, of course. And who's the other one? Oh yeah, a young Patrick McNee. We see it. Patrick McNee pops up in all these early films as well. You know, fantastic. Anyhow, that's this one. Anyhow, I've gone on too long, but I really enjoyed it, and that's what I'll just mention.
No,
So,
it was really nice of you to plug Tony York again, you miserable bastard. Anyway, while you're carrying on, just remember every 30 minutes I have to check on my mum.
Yeah, so that's all right. We'll go through some comments.
I'm just going to go and check on her, and I'll be back.
Yeah.
All right.
So I'll get on with comments. Don't worry, lad. All right. So we get to the first comment, and we have got Cy Robson. Evening, gang. I'm here nice and early because I don't want another rant off Delboy. Well, I'm afraid you got one like last week. I hope Mrs. Dell is doing well. Well, he's doing, gone to check, he keeps checking her, but I'm sure he'll appreciate you mentioning her. And but he couldn't resist his rant, could he? He's got into it now, the rant. Always that rant. Yes. And then we've got Steve Moles, Ian Delboy, and everyone in the chat watched a few films at the weekend. The Ice Pirates, Action Jackson, oh yeah, The Frisco Kid, Quick Change, Pump Up the Volume, Night Shift, oh, One Crazy Summer. What were your favorites of them? The Ice Pirates. I seem to remember that one. That is one of those films. Definitely. And Action Jackson. God, it's years since I've seen them, but yeah. I don't know any more about them, but that's it. One Crazy Summer. What's that one about? I don't know. But yeah. And then Steve Moles says, oh, we got more. Summer Corvette, Vision Quest. Oh, Joe versus the Volcano. Is that the one with is it Tom Hanks in that one? Am I wrong on that? I don't know. I seem to remember seeing that quite a few years ago. I don't know the others. I've never heard Summer Corvette. But it sounds like you've watched some more great films. Here he is. He might know. Let me just go back on some of these films. Right. Do you know The Ice Pirates, Action Jackson, The Frisco Kid,
The Ice
Quick
Pirates?
Change.
The Ice Pirates, just so you know, I think it came out on Blu-ray just recently. It's a very cheesy science fiction film.
Yes, yeah. I'm sure I've seen it years ago.
It was on I think it was on the Warner cheapo line that I bought because I'd never heard of it, and I went, "Oh my god, this is great!" And it sort of reminded me of the cheap films that we saw in the 80s, like Buckaroo Banzai across the eighth dimension, and things like that. Action Jackson, that was supposed to be the film that would escalate. What's his name? From Rocky.
Stallone.
No, the other one.
Because
Carl Weathers. It was supposed to escalate Carl Weathers into
black
superstardom.
Films.
Into superstardom, and it didn't.
Yeah.
The Frisco Kid isn't that a knockoff of Ferris Bueller's Day Out?
Is it? I don't know.
I think Quick Change is I'm doing this from memory. Bill Murray's crime heist where he dresses up as a clown and does a crime with Gina Davis.
That's been mentioned before. Yeah.
Pump Up the Volume is probably one of those like 51 Jump Street type things. I probably wouldn't have seen that. Isn't Night Shift got the Fonz in it, where they go over a mortuary and they run a brothel from a mortuary.
Oh yes, yeah. God, that's another one. Yeah, I think it is.
One crazy summer
Yeah.
doesn't ring any bells, I'm afraid.
No, no. And then he's got some more. Summer Corvette. I don't
Vision
know.
Quest is a toy line, so I take it that's a science fiction film.
Yeah,
And Joe versus the Volcano was probably the last cheap Tom Hanks film that he
that's
did
right.
before he was shot into stardom.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because I'll tell you what, it's about as cheap as The Money Pit and the one man,
yeah.
the One Red Shoe, and
Yeah,
all of those films.
yeah.
About as cheap as Tom Hanks will go, I should think.
Yeah. He says here, just a little marathon over Friday to Sunday. Well,
I'll tell you what, some absolute corkers there.
Yeah. And then we've got Tony. Hey, hello, Tony. Evening, Ian and Del and chat. I hope your mum's doing okay, Del. There you are.
Update on Sunday, obviously, but we've had some baddish news, but I'll talk about it, maybe a little bit later on. We want to get off to a good start and have everybody smiling. We don't want to bring things down. Take it like this. I am suffering, but I try to hide it. It's not the easiest thing in the world to do, and every time I move forward, there's always something that kicks me back. It doesn't matter whether it's intentional or not. It's difficult. It's as difficult as I've ever known.
Yeah.
Take it like that,
Yeah.
Okay. But thank you very much for asking, Tony, you bastard.
Yeah. And then we have got Jamie, Muckman Movies, or Eat Ladies.
That's nice, isn't it?
That's lovely,
right,
ladies.
What
lads?
Does he look at us as the two Ronnies on the worm the worm that turned?
Oh dear.
Do you remember that Diana Dawes was dressed up in sort of like a Nazi German rubberware or something, where all the women were now blokes. They went around with the names of Bernard and Albert and all of that. And they had to go around with names like Phyllis and had to make cups of tea and go to sort of like knitting clubs and things. The worm that turned. They don't make things like that anymore. And I tell you what, that was when we could laugh at ourselves.
Yeah.
Gender politics. We could laugh at ourselves and go, do we really treat women like that? Do they all make the tea and do the ironing? All of that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And there was a bloke with a beard in a dress, looking like Nora Batty, doing the ironing and that. I mean, that was fun. That was funny. That was funny.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Right. We got Simos. Just done a pre-order for some titles out in May. Captain America: Brave New World, Heart Highs, He Never Left, The Monkey, and Last Breath. I've seen Heart Eyes. It was okay. That's it. It was, it was terrible. And The Monkey, I'm sorry to say, but I didn't really get on with. But you might like it. I know it's a Stephen King one, and some people have liked it, but for me, it didn't quite work. But it has had people who do like it, so hopefully you'll enjoy it. Yeah.
But it seems. It seemed. Just bear with me because I've got a phone call. Sorry, I was going to say Muckman Movies has seen the best films over the last couple of days, but I'll be back in a bit.
Yeah, and so we'll go on. Muckman Moose says, "Nice to hear you watched a recommendation of mine last week, Ian. Anthropoid. What did you think? How about that ending in the church? Oh wow." I was blown away by Anthropoid, and it has to be a complimentary one with the Black Book. That it's just so good. And the church scene, as you say, is absolutely amazing. That shootout and tension, everything, right down to when they go on underground, and oh wow, I thought it was amazing, and it was interesting watching them because both had parallel scenes that looked very similar or were very similar, like the church scenes in both films were just exactly virtually the same. They look the same. Amazing to get that in two films. That was how much detail they'd gone into. But I thought it was good. I was very impressed, and it was. I learned a lot from it about some parts of history that I didn't know about. You know, that this assassination of Heinrich. It was amazing. But was it worth doing? Or were the, as they were saying, what about all those people that died as a result of that assassination, which they retaliated with? And as you know, the Nazis, they were so ruthless, weren't they? They just, exterminated villages, any community, they just go and do it. And they did that with the assassination of Heinrich. So it's an interesting debate about resistance that, was it worth it? I don't know. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. So it's a recommended film, that Anthropoid, definitely. And watch Black Book as well. I think both, anybody, great films. So you've not seen Anthropoid, have you?
No, but if you'd have carried on talking for about 2 minutes and I'd known everything that went on in the film, I wouldn't know.
It's when I get onto history, you know what I'm like? It's like you with film soundtracks. History, it just gets me. I get into history. I love history, as you might have guessed by now. And then
I'll tell you, you reminded me of then, and I've forgotten his name, but he was around in the 70s, right? And he waved his arms about. And he went,
I know you. Yes, I know you mean.
It wasn't Magnus Magnus. It was, what was his name? It was.
I thought he was going to say Magnus Pike.
Was it Magnus Pike? Yeah.
That's who it is. Yeah. He was all like this. He couldn't keep still. No.
He used to make me laugh because he just used to make me laugh every time I came on. I was just, because he'd go,
If you tied his hands and arms up, it wouldn't be the same, would it? He couldn't speak. He wouldn't be able to speak.
I don't think he knew what the confines of a camera was.
He just
it's
went at it. Yeah. Anyhow, right. I finally got around to starting The Gentleman Netflix show. I binged them all on Saturday. If you haven't seen them, I'd highly recommend it. Is that this gangster series with what's his name? Guy. Is it Guy Ritchie who's done that one?
Don't know. He's done no end, hasn't he?
I think it could be.
The one thing I like is that now there's another one that I need to write down and watch because there's so many.
I think it's a Guy Ritchie one, gangster thing, that he's done. For Netflix.
I mean, I told you the thing I watched this week was The Last of Us, and I have to watch that. I mean,
I've never watched it. Yeah. All right, let's see what else. Travis says, I really enjoyed the film. Doubt I'll get to the show. Losing Netflix at the beginning of May. Yeah, I know what you mean. These streaming things, they're very expensive in the end. And do you watch them enough? That's it.
Yeah.
Do you get your money's worth? I can understand people because you think, we're not watching it that much. You watch what you want, and then maybe it's better to sort of cancel it and then in a few months' time go back to it when they might have got new series or things, back on again. But it's streaming. It's how it is, isn't it? Right.
Yeah, you see, when you were mentioning Guy Ritchie, I remember listening to last week Radio 5. They do this must-watch TV stuff, right?
Oh,
done a TV show that sort of like almost looks like a documentary about a failed robbery where they tried to rob the Millennium Dome when it was,
Yeah.
when it was just been built, and it all went wrong because they got the tides wrong because they were going to escape by boat.
Yeah.
And I thought you couldn't make this up. No, that
Yeah.
didn't
No,
go on.
you got it.
But apparently it did, and they all had these weird names. And that's where I was thinking, that isn't The Gentleman, is it? That can't be, because but apparently that is a Guy Ritchie executively produced
Yeah.
thing, and that is out on either Netflix or
Yeah.
Prime or something.
Yeah.
So.
Then we've got Tony saying, "Evening, Jeremy. I rewatched Man with the Iron Arm, which I mentioned last week, which he said this week. Still prefer Anthropoid, so he does prefer Anthropoid because it's more focused on the assassins rather than Heinrich. Yeah, I think that's a good point. I personally loved them both. Yeah, but I get your point on that. Yeah, Steve Moles. I also watched Sean C. Phillips' Cool Hooder film, Desert Fiends, which he recently wrapped up. Desert Fiends 2. I have to say, for a Hindi horror movie, it's quite good. So for a
I haven't seen that. So
no,
yeah,
no. They're normally the best indie horror, anyhow. I need to see that one, Tony. Evening, by the way. Although if Anthropoid is better, maybe I don't need to. Oh, right.
You know what? When somebody says something like that, this isn't a contradiction or anything. I always go, "Hey, but you might find the other one better." You don't.
Yeah, it can happen.
Something is similar to something else. You should never sort of
yeah. Because we say we've got different tastes. You know, it's like I said about that monkey. I didn't like the monkey, but a lot of people seem to have liked that monkey film.
Well, so, the only thing I didn't say at the end of that is I've ordered the monkey on Steelbook.
Yeah.
I have ordered, I forgot what other films he was talking about, but I did say that I did go to myself, I've ordered that on Steelbook. I've ordered that on Steelbook.
Yeah.
But there wasn't everything there that I'd ordered, but those I know that there were two in that line, there was two films, and I did order both of them on Steelbook.
Honestly. Yeah. Anyhow, we've got Wilkie's Movie and Music saying, "Hey all, hello, welcome to our live.
You handsome devil, you, if that's your photograph."
Tony Hawk, I wouldn't sell anything connected with Manimal. Oh, we have to have the Manimal mention.
That is such a shit show. I'll tell you, every time somebody has to mention that bloody show, it's awful. That is one of those ones I have to watch every 3 years to remind myself just how bad things can be.
And Sai has followed on. You know what he's going to say as well.
I bet it's Condor, man.
Condor. Yes.
That's getting a 4K release, I believe. He wants to have that on 4K, you pieces of shit. It's awful.
And then we've got Joe saying, "Hey, Wilkie, great to see you." And Tony saying, "That's very understandable, Si," and he's giving a laugh there. And then Wilkie's Movies and Music. "Hey, at McMahon Movies, good to see you all as well." And then Tony saying, "Evening, Wilkie." And then we've got Si saying, "One of the biggest jaw-dropping moments in movies was when I watched Blade Runner 2049. It's such a beautiful film. It's in my top 5 of all time." Wow, that is amazing.
It is a beautiful film. It is well shot. I think it probably looks more beautiful than the first Blade Runner film, purely because it's for a more modern audience. Do you know what I mean? I think the two pair up really well, Blade Runner and Blade Runner 2049, because Blade Runner is a beautiful film in regards to how horrible life is going to look in the future. You know, the off-world colonies. You've got all the Tokyo. You've got all the rain that's going on, and all the noodles and all of this sort of stuff, and then you've got beautiful shots of the sunrise coming above, and it looks very much like the pyramids of Giza at some points. You know what I mean? I mean, my God. And when you look at Blade Runner 2049, you see the desolation of outside the cities, you know, where everything is pretty much destroyed and it's all sort of sand and gritty and all of that sort of stuff. They really do complement themselves really well. I think Ridley Scott just knocked it out the ballpark at the time it came out. I mean, it's a 1982. Was it made by the Lad Film Company? Wasn't it? The Lad Film Company.
Right. Yeah.
It was a gorgeous.
Yeah.
And so many people don't even realize that it's based on a book. You know, Do Androids Dream of Electric?
Yeah.
Which if anybody gets round to actually reading, is a pretty substantial sci-fi book. It's a short story, isn't it? Isn't it a short story?
It's Philip K. Dix, isn't it?
Philip
yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's again, it's about robot law, isn't it? I mean, you know, it's.
I think, to be honest, it was a jaw-dropping moment for me. I went to see Blade Runner the week it came out, and there weren't that many people in the cinema because it wasn't exactly a big hit at the time. And I just sat there and I was that opening scene. It was jaw dropping to me. It was an experience I've never forgotten.
When people turn around and say, "What is a beautiful marriage of visuals and music?"
The music.
Vangelis's opening music with the flyby.
Yeah.
You know, with the industrial flames, you know, coming up out of those towers. And, it even sounds like glass shattering in certain instruments that were used on his synthesizer that he had. You know,
it's something special. It's something you never forget if you get caught in the moment.
He knocked it out of the ballpark, didn't he? Because he did Chariots of Fire, and that. The music in Chariots of Fire with all of the runners going through the sea, you know, running across the beach, you know, with the quintessential gorgeous music of Chariots of Fire was. I mean, they say that film put the British film industry back on course, didn't they?
Yeah,
that one film.
They did. Yeah. At the same time, is it Gregory's Girl as well? There was those. I remember them going on about. Yeah.
But we don't talk about Northern bastard films, so you know we won't.
I still think it's funny, but Blade Runner is always a special film to me. It always will be. It's something that you carry with you once you're into it. It's like, I know Dune 1984 isn't special to anybody else, but to me, it is. It got so much criticism. But it's just the moment I saw Dune 1984, and I just thought, this is just brilliant.
Well, a lot of people get frightened by something that people just don't understand when they first see it.
Yeah,
even after watching it 3 or 4 times, they go, "Do you know what? I still don't understand why that guy's doing origami out of little things and all this sort of stuff, and why it's a unicorn." All of this sort of stuff, right?
And actually, when I saw it the first time, it was the one with Harrison Ford doing the voiceover.
Oh, the voiceover
the ending was different. It was the bit that they stuck on from The Shining. They just stuck on the end. So I saw that one, and I thought I was jaw dropped with that. And then, of course, when I saw the director's cut, you know, with all that stuff out, I was fantastic.
I remember seeing that at an Oxford cinema, and one of the oldest Oxford cinemas going. You know, I mean, it was a really. It was right next door to where the oldest hotel is in Oxford. It was on St. Giles Court.
Yeah.
I mean, if you ever watch sort of like Lewis
Yeah.
or Morse, you'll know what you'd have
Yeah.
seen the front entrance of that bloody hotel, and
Yeah.
about a million times.
Yeah.
But I remember seeing it. I drove from my hometown to Oxford, parked the car, watched that film, came out going, "Oh wow, what have I just seen?" I'm still trying to take it all in, and I was driving home, and I was looking at the cars pass by along. You know how country roads are, and
Yeah.
they dazzle you with their lights. And I was going, do you know what? That even these cars that are driving along, I keep thinking that they're flying. That I'm actually doing the flight. Right, these cars are coming towards me, and all of this sort of stuff in like slow motion. When a film affects you a little bit like that, when you're even driving home,
Yeah.
then basically you've got to turn around and say that was a cracker
Yeah.
of a film.
Yeah. Yeah. It was.
Because
Yeah.
I wasn't driving, you see, because I was too young when that came out.
Yeah.
But you know, I went with friends and they drove us there, and I was in the front seat, and I was just in awe. They were all talking about it on the back seat about what they'd just seen, but they were talking at a level that I didn't see. I was going, "Wow, I don't remember that bit in it."
Yeah.
I just remember all the line, the lines that touched me. Things like a light that shines twice as bright shines half as long, and yield
Yeah.
shines so
Yeah.
very, very
Yeah.
brightly. And I was going, "Wow, what a line!
Yeah.
Where did that line come from?" You know, I mean, if that didn't sell more light bulbs that year, I don't know what didn't. But yeah, there's a lot of good things I could talk about. But I do understand. Look, I do understand to everybody that's out there. As much as I mush over a film like Blade Runner, it's not for everybody. I know there are people who hate science fiction out there, and even if they don't like science fiction, they look at that and they go, "It's shit." What the hell is it? Was an hour and a half. It was 2 hours of boredom or something, and I can respect it because, to be quite honest, the story is a bit convoluted. It is. But to me, it just talked to me at a level that I can't explain. It's a different plane.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just going to go and check on my mum again. So just carry on. Now that I've talked about all that shit.
Yeah. Right. Oh dear. I still think Blade Runner is just such a great film that it's a film that you can just talk about and talk about. But as I said at the time, it was a flop. Now, I haven't mentioned 2001: Space Odyssey. Notice, because I don't get on with it, but everybody probably knows that now. But he does. He thinks it's the greatest thing since. I don't know. I'm going to say sliced bread, but he probably doesn't like sliced bread. And then we've got Wilkie's Movies and Music. Hey there, Tony. And then we've got Muckman Jamie. Throw some American questions over to Ian and Delboy. I've just got to say something, Jamie. I loved your short you did today, and it brought back a lot of memories as well of Leeds, because that's where I was. Spent 18 years in Leeds, and Hyde Park Cinema. Wow, that's amazing what they've done to that cinema. I can't believe it. It's just amazing. And I'm glad that it survived as well, because a lot of the cinemas, on the outskirts, all those that I mentioned, I did do a reply. They're all gone, aren't they now? And it's great that Hyde Park that has survived and is treasured. It's wonderful. It really is. I was so pleased to see that, and yeah. It's just all nostalgia for me, but to see it in a new light now, what they've done to it, is fantastic. Anyhow, that's me getting emotional about Leeds. Yes, why not? I still get emotional about anything connected with Leeds, even though I don't live there now, and probably I'll never go back, which is sad. But it's always in my heart. Is Leeds? Yeah.
Right, I've got 5 minutes, you bastards, before I have to go back because the occupational health nurse is here.
Anyhow, okay. So here's I'll let you answer this one then. Favorite conspiracy theory film? What's your
Capricorn 1?
Oh yeah, crikey. Actually, I'm going to say, because I think it's an absolute classic, The Manchurian Candidate.
Oh, The Manchurian Candidate.
Yeah, absolutely wonderful film. Manchurian Candidate, I suppose it's called, isn't it? Frank Sinatra and all that. Yeah, brilliant film. Absolutely.
Well, it depends on which one you watch. It's been remade, hasn't it? So.
Yeah, it has. But I think I like the earlier one. Yeah. And then Simos, I'm waiting for Ian to do his next short. These are my top 5 porn movies for such a year. Oh, I haven't got there yet.
Yeah, at number 5, we've got Alien in Space. No one can hear you scream. And we've got Shaving Private Ryan, and we've got. Yeah, I can imagine it. Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Shaving Private Ryan. Oh my God, that's terrible. Tosa Ian, you've spot your up and coming War Games reveal video. Oh yeah, yes. Well, it's all right. It'll be all right. Yeah, I couldn't help it. I love War Games. It's great. Patrick Troughton. Anything to do with Patrick Troughton. Oh, Jamie says, I love the China Syndrome, of course. Yeah, starring Jack Lemmon and Michael Douglas. Great film. Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh God! Oh God!
Never seen it in my life.
Yeah. Funny how I just happened to have that one there.
China Syndrome.
I know you've talked about it quite a bit.
Interesting story about China Syndrome, because I saw that and I can't remember if I saw Coma first. Do you remember Coma?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I love Coma. I think Coma. Actually, I prefer Coma to China Syndrome.
Oh no! But
I love Coma.
I remember seeing Coma and I remember seeing China Syndrome, and I was just going, Michael Douglas is really up and coming. But the reason I like the China Syndrome is I like Jack Lemmon.
Yeah, of course.
Anybody knows that I like a Jack Lemmon film. And the thing I liked about it the most is it really hit that, oh my God, this could happen moment. Do you know what I mean? That those tremors that you see in the coffee send shivers down my spine even now. And it every time I see ripples in a teacup, I think China Syndrome. And it was amazing because I was even watching Star Trek: The Undiscovered Country, right? When Sulu was having a cup of tea and there was these ripples, right? I was going, "It's the China Syndrome." No, it's not. No, it's a wave or something that's coming across him, a space wave or whatever it was. But and he's one of those paranoid people. And then basically he's a corporate guy that he tries to hide it, but then he does good, isn't it? Yeah. Really, Jack Lemmon. Yeah. And it's amazing what corporations will do to hide the facts. I mean, there's even a death in that film. Trying to hide the truth. I mean, this is bad. Yeah, real bad. And if that can go on in a nuclear power station, then God help us all.
Yeah.
So the China Syndrome hits me on quite a few levels. Yeah. And of course, Michael Douglas, I think he funded his own money to make that film.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because I think he produced it. He was in it and he produced it.
It's funny, but Coma has always appealed to me. I don't know. I just love the medical mystery. And there's Richard Widmark as usual, playing that bad character. He's so good at it.
Isn't that also Michael Crichton?
Yes, it is. It is Michael Crichton, yeah.
I remember seeing the reason it strikes a bell with me as well is the picture cover of the videotape when I went to see the rental is all of these beds that are sort of like hovering in the air.
Yes,
they're all hanging down with all these people in the beds, and I'm going, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah. Oh,
there's only supposed to be a few comas that have been going on. All of a sudden, there's about 640 of them all hanging from the ceiling. I was going, what the hell's this all about?
I love the film. It was one of the first Blu-rays I ever bought, Coma.
Well, you know, like I said, and then suddenly Michael Crichton was everywhere because I saw the film Looker with Albert Finney.
Yeah,
with the gun and the models, you know, the super powered gun that basically sort of like. And then Runaways. I saw Runaways later on, you know, with Tom Selleck in that futuristic sort of like cop thing type thing. They were all, and it's amazing. It's all full of drones and things. And what have we got now? We've got everything's drones and everything.
Yes.
I'm just going to go and check on my mum again because I need
I'll
to
carry on then. Yeah. And then Tony says Stephen subs will rocket to over 10,000 overnight. That would be good. Yeah, I could try that. You know, I'm sure I will. You never know. Tony, nothing. So yeah, Capricorn 1 is a great conspiracy theory film. It is. The problem is some people actually cite that as their evidence. That's what was good, that we didn't land on the moon. They confuse it. They don't realize that is a fictional film. They believe that the film is actually true. I love it. They're so daft. It's wonderful. You can't beat stupidity sometimes of conspiracy theories, but that film has a lot to answer for. But it's a great film. I really enjoyed it. But crikey, some people, yeah, that's a good one. And then Jamie says, anyone seen Sinners or Warfare yet? Saw them both at weekend, really enjoyed them both. I've heard so much about both these films. I definitely want to see them, and I think I'm going to enjoy both of them. In fact, I've no doubt about it. From what I've read about Sinners, I'll love it. And Warfare as well, because I enjoyed Civil War, and it's very similar, I think, in that sort of idea, like Civil War was. But you know, obviously, it's concentrated. I've seen quite a few clips of Warfare, and I'm looking forward to it. I really am. And Sinners, Sinners sounds great. I think that'll be right up my street, definitely. I can't wait to watch that. Yeah, brilliant. At Muckman Movies, they're on my list to get out soon to see. Yeah, they're good. 7 Days in May 1964 with Burt Lancaster and Kirk Douglas about a conspiracy to overthrow the US president by the army. Yeah, now, Tony, you sent me that on DVD and I started watching it, and then it packed up the DVD. It didn't work, and so I don't know what happened. But wow, as soon as I saw that, what a great cast, and I definitely will try and get hold of that. I think it sounds like a really good film. I mean, those two actors, Burt Lancaster and Kirk Douglas. What more can I say? And it was obvious that it was Burt Lancaster who was the baddie, and Kirk Douglas was the one that was one with the conscience and uncovering it all. It was absolutely brilliant. I really thought it was fantastic, but I didn't see it all. I didn't see it all. Oh well, the DVD just wouldn't play any further. that might happen in May this year. Oh, crikey, I don't know. And then Sai says, Muckman, can you remember BBC miniseries called The Shadow Line? Stars Stephen Rea and Chitwetel Ejiofor. It's about the real people in charge of the UK. Great conspiracy theory show. Yeah, I do love all those. You can't beat a good conspiracy theory. Um, you, you just spend loads of time on the internet looking at conspiracy theories. And now, of course, they've come people making films about conspiracy theories. It's wonderful stuff. I've got that one, Tony. It wasn't my favorite, to be honest. Impressive cast, though. And Tony says, I was thinking how appropriate it is to current events. Yeah, I know what you mean about that. It is very appropriate, I think. No, sorry, not heard of that one. I might try and see if it's on iPlayer. Tony says, M as a cargo ship captain in River Plate. Christopher Lee as a smallish part. Yes, I've got Christopher Lee. Yes, it was a small part. But I'm sure in that period of time, as I remember, I've seen him pop up in quite a few films in that sort of role. It was kind of he was a bar owner, wasn't he? In Uruguay. It was like a Uruguayan bar owner. He was, yeah. It was, yeah, fascinating. And then Frank Kohler saying, "Hi, people. Hi, Frank." And we've got Blowout is a fantastic conspiracy theory film, as is the Conversation. Yeah, they're films that have been sort of coming up quite recently. I've seen on YouTube. I think Conversation, obviously, because of death of Gene Hackman. Yeah. Muckman Movies says, hi, Frank. And James says, wasn't Anthropoid a film from Tony? Yes, it was. You've got it. Yes, it was. And it was brilliant. I really thought it was great. I really enjoyed it. And then Tony Hawk says, evening, Frank. Jamie, you wouldn't be trying to wind a certain person up, would you? Yeah, I know. He's gone. He's not here, so he can't hear. I still need to watch my copy of the original Manchurian Candidate. I've seen the remake, but not the original. The original is, for me, yeah, excellent. I might be Tony. And then Frank Ole. Del, did either of you but Oblivion Remastered? I was very surprised to see it come out yesterday with no advertising. I don't know. I don't know what is Oblivion. Is it I don't know. Oblivion. Is that a film? Let's look at this. I'm cheating now. He's not here, so I can do this on my phone. He always thinks that we're supposed to have a fountain of knowledge, but we don't all. Especially if you got a memory like mine. Is this the 2013 film? Is this one? Yeah, 2013, Oblivion. Let's see who's in this one. It's Tom Cruise, Morgan Freeman. Oh, this looks quite good. Oh yeah, I've seen that now. I've just seen the poster for it, theatrical poster. Yeah, that looks good. Yeah, quite good. Yeah. it's something I definitely would be interested to watch. That one, yeah. I'm not a big Tom Cruise fan, I must admit, but over recent years, some of his films I've enjoyed a lot more. I think it's the young Tom Cruise, like many people, that I've not got into. I have to confess, I'm not a fan of Top Gun, so I suppose that puts me in that. And is it Risky Business and all those early Tom Cruise films? Not really into, but the late Tom Cruise, yeah, definitely. I must give that a rewatch, Mancurian original. I think Ian may have got a DVD on that, DVD on that too. I may well have. Yes. And he's not here to have a go again. I also watched Yanks. Oh, Richard Gere. Do you know, I remember Yanks quite a few years ago, seeing that one. And I've seen it then come up on people's, films that they're showing this week. Companiaros, Franco Nero this week. Really enjoyed the film locations in Yank, many of which are close to where I live. Yes, of course, the homeland. Yeah. That's how I do remember going back when they were originally filming it. Yeah. I think it did well at the cinema, as I remember at the time. Yeah. Yeah. The Frisco Kid is a comedy western starring Gene Wilder and Harrison Ford. Ah, right, it's a comedy. Right. And Mugman says, any good? And he said, Mugman movies. Yeah, it's a good film, Jamie. Is Summer Corbett the film with Mark Hamill? Ah, yeah. Oh, wow, you've known his stuff. Yeah, Sarah Rosen. Yes, it is. So, yeah, Mark Hamill. I do remember now people showing it, and yeah, Mark Hamill. Companeros is a good spaghetti, Jamie. Have you seen the other Nero spaghetti, The Mercenary? And then, no, not yet, but I do own it in an Arrow box set. Ah, right, okay. No, I look at you both as Les Dawson and Roy Barraclough. Yeah, thank you. That's what a compliment, that is. I was disappointed with The Monkey 2. Definitely overrated. I agree. Yeah, I had so many people going on about it. I think it's because it was Stephen King's story, and I didn't rate it at all. It's not something I would get in my collection. I was able to download it and just saw it, and yeah, I wasn't really that fussed about it at all. I think it was. I know this is a strange thing, but oh, well, it's not strange to me. I don't mind comedy, but sometimes comedy and horror doesn't work, and you lose any sense of horror. I'd rather have not had any comedy at all in that. I just don't think it always works. It can do, but I don't think it did in this at all. I think it really put me off totally, and it just didn't seem very good at all. It's in fact, it's one of the worst Stephen King stories I've seen. Adaptations of his films, yeah. Because normally I think a lot of them are pretty good. Vision Quest, released in the United Kingdom and Australia as Crazy for You, is a 1985 American coming-of-age romantic drama sports film starring Matthew Modine, Michael Schofling, and Ronnie Cox. All right, thank you for explaining that. So it's a coming-of-age drama. It's got a bit of mixtures of drama, of genre there. Yeah, sounds interesting, yeah. I honestly think that I'm one of the few people who like The Monkey. I love the dark humor. You see, you got it. Perhaps I didn't, and I just didn't get it. But yeah, you need to do a review of Anthropoid, Ian, because it doesn't get the recognition it deserves. It does you're right. I suppose it's something that people haven't talked about. I suppose I should. I did, because I did review the Black Book, but I thought, well, I've reviewed the Black Book, and I don't know. It didn't do that well. People weren't that interested in it, but that would normally stop me, because I mean, I just do them because I love doing the reviews. So I don't know. I'll think about it, but I love them both. I think they complement each other so much. I think they fit well together. Even though, as I say, it was fascinating watching the church scenes, how together, they were absolutely amazing. Oh, and the actual assassination attempt as well. Well, it's an attempt, it works, but at first it doesn't look like it has worked. But they are great films. Yeah, maybe I should do. I don't know. I'll think about it. Yeah, he says Magnus Pike. And then we've got Frank Holder saying, that was the great egg race, wasn't it? I love that. All right, yeah. And Stephen Moll says, I've just pre-ordered Sinners after seeing the trailer. It looks good. Yeah, I think I can't wait to actually see that. I think it's going to be right on my street. It just, I mean, vampires, it's pretty good. We don't always get good vampire films. Now, I say that, though, because Abigail I absolutely loved last year. Abigail was absolutely fantastic. That's vampire. So, yeah, I'm definitely looking for Dusk Till Dawn, haven't they? A lot of people comparing it with that one, which is a very popular film as well. Mobland is a new series I've been watching that I believe Guy Ritchie directed some of the episodes. Right. Yeah, I knew there was a Guy Ritchie connection. It looks quite good. I think from what I've seen, people saying about it, I think it'd be quite good. I think it'd be entertaining. I've forgotten about that. Frank used to watch The Great Egg Race. That's it. Yeah, I was trying to. Yeah, of course, it's him when he was doing all these mad Magnus Pike arm movements and everything. Yes, that's it. Yes, the arm movements. It's a way of speaking. So you can't tie the arms up. It's the way he was. I met the inventor Wilf Lund on a train, and he signed my Beano. Wow, brilliant! I love it. That's fantastic. The Beano as well. Wow. Yeah. That reminds me, Muckman. Did you see Sinners? Oh, there it is. Yeah, once. Wow, Jamie, that must be worth a fair bit now. Yeah, laughing there. No idea where the Beano Annual ended up, to be honest. Oh, I'd have had it. I'd have had a Beano Annual in my collection anytime. Yeah. Yeah. And my wife would have been my late wife. She would have been. Well, Beano. Yeah. She was just massively mad about it. Are you sure Wilf handed it back to you? Tony says. And then Muckman Mover says, Corey Wilkett, you need to change your profile picture. You have a beard now. Getting rid of my TV license was the best thing I ever did, Stephen Walls. Yeah, I don't watch live. Who watches live TV? Watch.
I'll be 5 minutes. I'm just letting the occupational health nurse get out, and then I'll be back. All right.
Yeah. I thought he was going to say that they've been occupied by somebody. I don't know. It's all this war stuff. Yeah, occupation. Anyhow, perhaps nurses will come and occupy them. Yeah. All right. And it says, how do you get away with that, Stephen? Oh, yeah, TV license. I know that Muckman Movies actually just shaved it off. Warm weather and my son's wedding coming up. The beard will return when the weather turns again. Aha. yes. Oh, I can't get rid of my beard. No. Oh, I did. Oh, quite a few years ago, and I did. I was without a beard, maybe for a year, maybe 2 years. Could have been something like that, or maybe a bit longer. But no, I had to have it back. And I suppose my wife wasn't always that keen on my beard, so I didn't have anybody then to, after she died, to stop me. So yeah, it came back straight away. Also, I got lazy. I thought, well, I don't want to be doing all this shaving stuff, No, I still have a shaver because you still have to cut the beard, otherwise you end up with a big, massive beard, and I suppose that's not a good thing. So I still have, but I've got an electric shaver. I remember I used to do the blooming shaving with the wet shaving, and wet shaving is an absolute nightmare. Oh, I hated it. Yeah. And then never had a letter, had a visit. I just did it online and cancelled it. All right, okay. Fair enough. So they don't check. You don't have these vans and stuff checking if you're watching the telly. Sounds as though it's worth a try. Jamie, I think if you use a projector instead of a TV, you can get around it. Well, that's an interesting thought. Anyhow, the one, as I say, the BBC will be changing. I don't know what. I think BBC will come kind of some sort of subscription-based channel in the end. They've got such a big archive, they will have to go like that. But I said people won't be watching live TV. It's already in decline. It will change that people won't watch live TV much, especially when you can get everything on the iPlayer. I can watch all my bargain on episodes on iPlayer. There we are. But it'll disappear.
What's the subject?
No, we're on about the TV license, about paying. People not wanting to pay the TV license, ways of getting around it, and that.
Yeah, we came off of it for a year.
Yeah,
we filled a form in on the internet. But as soon as you register yourself for iPlayer, that's the license.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Basically, iPlayer is the license check, really.
Yeah, it's like a subscription in a way. They're using that as a way of subscribing, isn't it?
Because it's something to do with a clause that basically said it was about broadcasting terrestrial or something.
Yeah.
But there was an amendment that made about recorded TV.
Yeah.
And iPlayer is not only broadcasting stuff that's not been broadcast yet, it actually does catch up.
Yes.
So if you have Sky, you've got to have a TV license.
Yeah.
Because of the catch-up service.
Well, well, in fact, I don't often use it, but if I wanted to watch, say, live football on there on iPlayer, you can do it. And also, if you go onto channel bit and go onto where it says 1, so you press it and it's BBC 1, then it'll say watch live or catch up to the beginning of the program, so you can actually watch it live through iPlayer.
Yeah, and I think that's the reason why the license fee is also incorporated into iPlayer now.
Yeah, I think so that's it. Yeah,
because the way that it used to be done, every time you bought a TV from Currys and that, they asked you for your address.
Yeah,
and you went, why?
Yes.
Half the time. I don't want to, and they used to say it's for the warranty, but I also know that they used to send this off to show that you've got a TV that you can actually pick up terrestrial TV on.
Yeah. Exactly.
That was the olden days,
Yeah.
Now you could buy a TV off of Amazon and they don't do any of that check.
No, yeah.
You know what I mean?
And you don't have all them extra so-called insurance and all that rubbish.
Well,
that
like I said, there were so many ways that you could get around it. Like I'm looking at a TV, I'm looking at a monitor now that doesn't have a TV, aerial in the back, so you could
Ah,
turn around and say, "Well, how am I watching live TV because it's got no aerial?"
yes, yeah,
But they had to change the laws because you could then broadcast over Wi-Fi.
yeah, yeah,
See what I mean? And it's the same. It's all. It basically, this is all redundant because I think you'll find that Labour, when Labour finished their term, the broadcasting license for the BBC is up for
yeah,
review,
yeah,
and I think they've been told you've got to go to a subscription service.
yeah. I can see that
You,
happening.
there's,
Yeah,
I mean, Sky has been a subscription type service for 20 odd years, and
exactly.
you're still in the doldrums. They turn around and say we're not in the doldrums, but what we are is that we keep with our core values, which was the BBC was a broadcast over the radio, and for
Yeah,
the world news, you
yeah,
used to be able to get the world news on long
yeah,
wave, and you used to be able
yeah,
to pick it up in America, and it was a renowned
yeah,
channel to pick up world
yeah,
stuff. You know, the BBC was was like kings of this. You know, I mean, it was
yeah,
like the royal charter of
yeah.
radio.
And they used to give sea forecasts,
Yeah,
the
sea
weather
forecast.
forecast. Yeah, about what was going
Did
on
you
in the
ever watch a
sea.
comedy show called Black Book,
Yeah,
which was about a bookshop, a bookseller, and he was Irish, and he basically
yeah,
hated anybody that read books.
yeah,
It had Bill Bailey in it.
yeah,
The woman who had a shop next door, she fell in love with the voice of the person that did the shipping forecast. She used to have
yeah.
orgasms listening to this guy reading out that it was going, that the fog was coming in or something from,
Yeah,
and of course the tides, you know, whether they were high or low and
yes,
all this
that's
sort of stuff.
right. Yeah,
But anyway, it used
yeah,
to make me laugh, that show.
yeah. The
But
shipping thing, the shipping forecast, they always had about after 12 o'clock on Radio 4, I think it was.
yeah,
And
and like I said,
yeah.
the whole way that we listened to football was done in conjunction with the papers. Remember, I was telling you last week,
Oh,
I
yeah.
think, where you knew where the ball was on the
Oh,
pitch
yeah, spot
based
the
on the
ball. Yeah,
zones that they separated
yeah,
the football pitch into.
yeah,
So you knew which half of the pitch they were up.
yeah. And oh, do you remember the pools? People used to love doing. My granddad was an absolute fanatic of doing the pools every week. You know, getting those. What did you need? About 8 score draws you had to predict,
Yeah,
or something
wasn't it
like that.
8 or 9 score draws?
Yeah, and you'd win then million. At the time, it was massive amount of money. It
Yeah,
wasn't.
my dad did that and spot the ball.
Oh
He
yeah,
used to
spot the ball. He's such a con. It always seemed to
And
me.
my mum said,
Yeah,
because she always used to see a picture and it always used to have people in the background in the seats, right?
yeah,
And they showed this picture with no ball on it, somebody
yeah,
headering it. It looked like somebody was headering it.
yeah.
And my mum always used to put the X's where the bloke's balls might be.
Yeah.
No, not
Yeah.
that type of ball.
Yes, I
It's the
know.
football, not the bloody balls of the, you know. And it used to make my dad laugh, you know. He used to do that.
Oh, dear. I'm sure it was fixed. That spot the ball.
Oh, it was.
Been a fix. It must have been a fix.
Well, they used to turn around and say they used to have an overlay, a cell overlay that you used to put over
Yeah.
the top, and it's where the closest X was. And later on, it was done with computers and all of this. And I was
Yeah.
going, bollocks.
Yeah. They said the cross had to be exactly in the middle. So even
Yeah.
if it was just a micro millimeter off,
Yeah.
oh no, we can't have that. It's not in the middle.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's where this cell came in. They put a cell over the top
yeah.
and over each of them. And I was going, how long would it take to put a cell over every single person's picture that they used to send this into? Right? Because you couldn't do a photo, you weren't allowed to send a photo stat in.
No.
Page. You had to send the actual page of the
You
newspaper
did,
in.
yes. Yeah, you did. Yeah. And you could have like sort of, I don't know, 50 crosses for £1 or something. And then if you did 100 crosses, it might be 150. You know, it'd carry up. They're trying to make
Yeah.
loads of money. You know,
It's all a
but
big con. It's as much of a con as those things that they put on TV these days, where they put a word search on and it says, "Find the TV show in this word grid. We're going to be here for a minute and a half. We'll give you a clue. It's a British comedy." And in this word grid, you can see bloody straight away it says Faulty Towers, right? You go, "We're going to give you another minute to look," and everything is at the bottom tells you that you phone this number, and basically, you'll be on no longer than 6 minutes, and it's going to cost you 50p every 30 seconds or whatever it is. Bollocks to it.
It's bollocks. Yeah, on YouTube, I keep getting this thing up. This person there with the mobile phone saying, "Look, just press this button," and all these balls come rolling around. And guess what? Surprise, surprise! They keep winning. Oh, look, £2,000. Oh, £3,000. What a load of bollocks! Yeah,
I'm surprised. I'm surprised at how many competitions and giveaways there are on YouTube. And then when I go to the description, there is nothing that says what they're going to do with your data when you actually say, "I'd like to enter your giveaway competition."
Yeah.
Right? You have to give an email so that they can send it to you and all this.
Yeah.
And if you read the rules of YouTube, it says you have to put, for every giveaway or competition, you have to put that Google or YouTube have nothing to do with your competition. They're not affiliated in any way, shape, or form. And I'm going, so all these people that I know that people are being nice, they're saying, "Oh, look, I've got this steelbook and you can have it, look, just by putting a like or something in my channel," or whatever it is, right? And all I'm saying is you're giving people your email address, and that's Data Protection Act.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to sign God knows how many forms in the civil service just for me to give them my email address so that they can phone me if I'm off sick. And there's people on YouTube that just want to give something away, and they're saying, "Email me and you can have this computer,
they do,
or this game." And I'm going, "But what are you going to do with my data once you've finished with this?"
Yeah.
You know my email address. You're going to post it to me, so you're going to know what my name is, my address.
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah.
So that's why I don't do things like that's just why I give away things, and I do it only to friends, and just say, "Look, if you want this double of my steel book, then obviously you're a friend of mine." So of course,
because you got hacked, didn't you? You got hacked. All your
I've been hacked several times, but
they
one of them was actually something that was a ticking time bomb that had been on my computer for about 4 years. I used to be a system tester, and I was testing what they call download managers for work. We wanted the ability to be able to get a piece of software across to all the machines on the network. And I downloaded this download manager. We don't use download managers now anymore because we've got fast internet. You don't need them anymore. But there used to be a time where your internet would disconnect halfway through a file that took about 10 minutes to download or something. Right? And you'd want it to continue from the point that it dropped the connection, right? I happened to double click on a file that I hadn't tested, and it put what they call a ransomware thing on my machine. That was my own stupid thing. If you're ever going to do something stupid like that, turn your internet off, right? First of all, Secondly, you can set your Windows up to be like in sandbox mode, sort of like an airplane mode on your phone. And basically, you can test anything and then run a virus thing at the end, so that you basically get rid of it, whatever was on there. Because it doesn't connect to the internet, it basically therefore will have got rid of it before it embeds itself. Because the way that ransomware works is, as soon as you reboot, it embeds itself onto the hard drive's boot sector. That's the thing that your machine powers itself up from on the hard drive to load Windows. And as soon as it's there, that's it. It's really hard to get rid of once it's on the boot sector of your hard drive. Anyway, that's boring stuff. We're here to talk
Yeah,
about
but
films.
it's fascinating, though. Yeah. All I watched is movies on my projector, and I watched Tubi. Oh, it's streaming, isn't it? And Netflix, when they give it to you for free to try out. Yeah, best way. Anything free, worth trying. And then it says, I'm wrong, just checked. I wonder what that was about. Yeah. Watched an 8-part French series, Paris Police 1900, about political and social unrest in France due to the Dreyfus spy case. Wow, that's famous, that one. Yes, and the resulting rise in anti-Jewish movements. A good watch. Yeah, I won't go on. I was getting there about how important Dreyfus affair is in history of French political history, but
Yeah, it'll be out on DVD and round bloody. It'll be
You'll
round
get
your bloody house
you'll get a lecture.
faster than a greyhound goes round looking for a bloody rabbit. I tell you.
You get a lecture on French history. He said, never heard of it. Yeah. Is it new? He says, even if I got a visit from TVC licensing, I would just open the door, say, who are you? Soon as they reply, just say, no, thank you, and shut the door. The more you stand at the door talking to them, let's have a look. Get to the next bit. There it is. You just giving them more information. That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there was a case though where somebody did that, and I think they just put a piece of paper through the door saying you're going to get this in the post anyway. And then you have to fill in a form that's in there, and if you don't answer it, then they have bailiffs and all sorts.
That's what I was going to say.
There's lots on YouTube, about this in regards to how to get around TV licensing and your own sort of like ability to shut the door on them. Not let them in, not talk about it.
As far as I know, bailiffs
statutory rights. That's
you can close the door, but if they get a high court judgment, I think it's a bit more difficult. But they have to pay for these high court enforcers. So it's
why there isn't that many convictions.
Yeah. Right.
It's just too much money to actually go to that point.
Exactly, because these people are employed to go and get it, and these firms are charging quite a bit to go around enforcing it. So
I tell you, I seriously got addicted to ITV and BBC, those TV shows where the bailiffs go around.
Can't pay, won't pay, or something. You'd get can't pay, won't pay.
Can't pay, we'll take it away, or something, right? My mum said I was sick for watching it. She said, "How do you get pleasure watching somebody have their stuff taken away?" Right? I said, but there are a couple of parts to each episode where there's a bloke who has replaced an engine in a car, and the guy's come back and he said, "Look, it's not correct," and they've refused to do the repairs or something, and all of this sort of stuff. So, of course, he's within his right to get the bailiffs in and start saying, "Can you go round to there and basically claim my money?" Because they've gone to the courts, and the courts have said, "Yeah, you've won in your favour," and they still won't pay. And at the end of the day, those people should be shut down.
Yeah,
I'm in full agreement that these mechanics that do stuff like that ought to be shut down.
One thing, if you're somebody who owns property and rents it out, you used to watch these, and you'd get people deliberately, they'd move in these properties and they wouldn't pay any rent.
That's right. There was these neighbour shows, weren't they? Said a bad neighbour and all this sort of stuff.
They were in there for 6 months, a year, without paying rent, because the process of getting them out was difficult. You had to go through all these court procedures, and in the end, it used to end up with an high court writ. They had to pay to get these people out.
I mean,
They wouldn't
I
stay.
used, I used to watch all these programs, and I must admit, I did feel sorry for things like the mothers that have got children that are being evicted,
Yeah,
and
I think
and
you've
and
seen
then
that.
when they're out on the
Yeah.
street, they have to actually be homeless before the actual youth hostels will be able to
Oh, they
let
had to
them
go
in
to
and
council
find
and
them
say they
property
were.
and all that,
They go to council, didn't they, and say they were homeless, and council has to
Yeah,
provide
you had to phone them
accommodation.
up, and they were shut at
Yeah.
6 o'clock, and they were evicted at 5:30 or something that
Yeah,
evening. They had
and
nowhere
they
to
have to
go.
go into hotels and all sorts of things
I mean,
like
that
that.
must be
Yeah,
it must be bloody awful for the
yeah, yeah.
and they've had to leave all of the toys for the kids behind because
And they
they
have to
can't.
come back, they say, and you're given a time or something, like say on a Saturday or something, when you go back and collect
Yeah,
all
yeah,
your
yeah.
belongings. Could you imagine that?
But
These
it
people.
was always the stories where they were told they had to leave on a certain time during the day. The person that owned the house came back 2 days later or something. They came in and they found that they'd shit in the bathtub.
Oh, oh yeah, they were all that side. There was the
There was
other side,
feces on
yeah.
the
Oh,
wall. And
oh, it was all yeah. Um,
I
oh
found
yeah.
that I found it disgusting.
I
But
did, especially you was waiting. Oh no, they're gonna do a toilet shot, and I honestly used to just cover my eyes. I couldn't bear to look at the
you know
bathroom
what?
toilets.
I thought it was a property program for houses in Leeds.
Oh, here we
I used
go.
to watch
Yes,
them.
yeah, yeah. Here we go. Oh dear me. Right. Stephen Mill says, I think the TV license is going up to about £170. Oh, right. Uh, that shot was from 2023, Ian. Was it? What, really? It came up on my thing. I thought, oh, that's a new shot. Well, that's YouTube. Obviously, YouTube is strange, isn't it? If you're getting a shot coming up on my new feeds from 2023, what can I say? I don't know. Mind you, that's true. Anyway, I won't go into about YouTube, but yeah, YouTube is very strange. Good seeing keeping up with your channel, Jamie. Yeah. Well, I do, even if I'm a bit late. Yeah. Question for Ian Dell: who's the most talented person you've ever seen? As in, they could do many different things so amazingly. Good for me. It's Sammy Davis Jr. The man was a phenomenal talent. Actually, it's a good. That's true. He was. Oh, right. Most talented person I ever think of.
Well, you mean other than McMahon movies?
And,
I've heard he's talented. I don't know. Honestly, look, I could be here forever, right? But I remember seeing a documentary on Norman Wisdom, and he apparently could play 4 musical instruments.
yeah.
He could go from instrument to instrument. Plus, he was able to learn how to fall, so he used to be able to do slapstick. Plus his comedy, obviously in the films, and you've got to turn around and say that that's bloody talented. And then there's people like Les Dawson who play the piano so badly that actually they're actually incredibly talented piano players, because to play the piano that bad, you had to be incredibly good.
Yeah.
He used to be a singer. He used to be a comedian. He used to play the piano. He knew all about the old comedy routines. He used to base those two with what's his name, with Barraclough. I've forgotten his name. He used to do these 2 women, Ada and something or other, right? And he used to do it based on the women that used to work in the wool mills of up north, where they used to talk you, because you couldn't hear above the noise of the machine.
Right.
They used to lip and go and talk about things like women's parts.
Yeah. That's right.
Like this, right? But I mean, so there's Les Dawson, I think, is incredibly talented. Tommy Cooper was incredibly talented.
Yeah.
Norman Wisdom, like I said. But it's amazing now all these people I'm mentioning, they're comedians.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of others,
I'll tell you what, somebody I was brought up with, and it was mainly through children's TV. But then when you learn a bit more about him, you find out it was Roy Castle. Do you remember Roy Castle?
Oh Christ, he was a trumpet player.
He was incredibly talented.
Trumpet player. He did tap dancing.
Yeah. He could do all sorts. He was a great talent. It was actually.
I think children's TV had a massive talent.
Yeah.
They all came from different backgrounds, but they all seem to have some dexterity in regards to dance or music or whatever it was. Like what's his name? Brian Cant.
Yeah.
He was he sang, he played guitar, he did all the kids, he did the voiceovers, didn't he? And Crumpton and Camberwick Green and all of this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But you had Rod, Jane, and Freddie on Rainbow that were musicians. And also, I'm trying to think of people that outside of their field were also good at something else. And that's where I was going, like the all-rounder like Les Dawson is great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, you don't take a piano, do you?
I've got one. Dudley Moore.
Piano player as well. Actor, comedian.
Yeah. And brilliant jazz player, piano player. Absolutely.
Yeah, he did your what's her name? Cleo, whatever her name is.
Cleo Lane. Yeah, but no,
I always remember him doing the Goodbye song with Peter Cook.
Yeah, but I remember him when he was sort of guest on Parkinson, and Dudley Moore would often play piano. Seriously, didn't he? He was just fantastic.
He used to sit down on Lulu's show and on Cilla Black show.
He was great, absolutely.
Because it was Dudley Moore and the Trio, wasn't it, or something like that?
Yeah.
And I remember that he was on Parkinson doing a promotion for Arthur.
Yeah. Oh,
He had Christopher Cross on, who sang the theme tune to Arthur.
Yes. Yeah.
And he was in the background playing the piano while Christopher Cross was singing the song.
Amazing. Yeah. Very talented. Right.
It's such a shame. It's such a shame his death to me. Because I was in such awe of Dudley Moore.
Yes. Yeah. It was. Yes.
I think they made up Peter Cook and Dudley Moore towards the end.
Yeah.
I know that there was resentment because he went off to Hollywood.
Yes. Yeah. And Peter Cook didn't know. But I remember at school they were famous for those Derek and Clive records. All it was them swearing away on these records, wasn't it? These two acts.
I used to love their routines where they were in the pub together having a pint, and they used to try and make each other laugh.
Yeah,
because it was almost like and she had a 90 on, and he'd be there going, his pint going, what are you talking about now?
Yeah,
it was all sort of like unscripted sort of thing, really. And it'd throw something in that was not in there, or it'd be eating a sandwich, a cheese sandwich.
Yes, yeah.
And he nearly spat his sandwich out while he was doing this monologue, because apparently Peter Cook really made Dudley Moore laugh. Really, he couldn't help himself. Dudley Moore laughed.
That's right. Let's go on to the next one. Jamie says, spookily, 2 weeks after the China Syndrome was released, the 3 Mile Island incident.
Yes, it did.
Which was very uncanny and frightening parallels. Yeah.
I think it's on the documentary. I think it's on the documentary of here.
I do remember that. Yeah. That was a big news story. Massive news story. Right. let's see. Sai says Frank. I'd have to say Clint Eastwood. Oh yeah, this is
Brilliant
he's a
jazz
good
pianist.
actor, great director. He was a politician, yeah, and he's a talented jazz pianist. Good call out there. That's
I've met him.
call out.
I met him
Yeah.
at his hotel in Carmel.
Yeah, that's right.
And he was mayor of Carmel.
Yeah. Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
He used to regularly play his piano in his hotel in the lobby.
Yeah. Warfare is more like Black Hawk Down, Ian. It's directed by a war veteran and is inspired by real events. And I'm really looking forward to watching it.
Yeah, because I'm a big fan of Black Hawk Down.
Yeah.
I told you, Mugman Movies came out, he knocked it out the ballpark with his reviews because he did one outside the cinema, which he'd just been in.
Right.
Then he went 10 minutes later and he went in to see another one. And then he did the review of that when he was at home. And both films intrigued me. I went, oh, you bastard, you've seen two films I really want to see now. You git.
Yeah. And of course, we were talking about the cinema, of course, in Leeds, Hyde Park Cinema, where it's all taking place, and how wonderful Hyde Park Cinema.
Yeah, well, there's always a downside to things.
There's always a very positive side to.
Yeah, there's always a downside to the video, and I have to turn around and say, yeah, it was set in Leeds. I mean, you have to
Leeds is just, you know, I don't live there, but it's still in my heart. Leeds always will be. With regard 7 Days in May DVD, Ian, it was a region 1. Don't know if that made any difference. Probably not. No, it won't, because it played. It wouldn't have played at all, you see, if it have and mine's a multi-region player. It must have been very old. It was a snapper case. Yes, it says sorry about that. That's okay. It's no problem. Some of those old DVDs.
Let's step back a minute. You give him something for free, and you're saying sorry for you bastard. You give him the proper case next time, right? I don't want this shit, these excuses, right? Right?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Do not send shit through the post, right? You're doing right. I don't want you to rush things, right? You can wait a day or two, you bastard. Just think of the poor post. Just think of the poor poster who then has to pick it up because it's in the wrong case and has to send it back, right? He's got to march it to his house. Then 2 days later, he's picking it up to send it back to you because it's got the wrong smash case on it. And then the postman's got to send it back to him and all that. So that bollocks. Get it right. Say
it. It says, I just recently started watching Michael Barrymore's YouTube channel. Oh my God. He's updated the uncut episodes of Kids Say the Funniest Things. Oh, that was one of his big shows, wasn't it? Yeah, that's what a lot of these people who have been disgraced do, don't they? They try and come back on YouTube, and he's obviously doing that.
I mean, I don't think we'll ever know the full extent of it. It did destroy his career. He did do Strike It Lucky. Yeah. Was that his game show? Strike It Lucky? Was it?
Yeah, it was massive. There was the one with the kids. That one that he's
Kids Say the Funniest
Things. Yeah,
he was. We have to remember he was like the king of entertainment for about 6-7 years on ITV. He was at the Palladium. He did the Palladium. I don't know how many times.
He was just big. He was massive. And then the downfall.
One thing in the newspaper about this thing that occurred.
Yeah.
And instantly the media turned against him. Then everybody turned against him. Then it was an unconfirmed what quite happened. There's a doubt on whether whether he had a part to play in the death in the swimming pool. It was in the swimming pool, wasn't it? Some drugs. And
I think the family of the
fact he was gay and all of this sort of stuff, right?
The family of that person that died, obviously, they wanted more information.
And then that was it. He was dirt. as far as anything was concerned. And in the public eye, even now, people hear the word Michael Barrymore and they don't want to know it anymore.
They think
they'll never let it go.
There's no evidence that he was directly responsible, but because it happened on his patch, people think he's responsible. That's how it
think about it. Clint Eastwood had the BBC all over him in helicopters in regards to his sexuality or something, right? Yeah. He sued them. He won.
Cliff Richard did,
and yet his career is not tarnished.
No. Yeah.
It's almost like Cliff Richard is Teflon and Michael Barrymore was like flipping flypaper.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I suppose that's the way it is. Maybe it was just the years that it happened. It was in the 90s.
It wouldn't happen nowadays, but did he come out gay after that or before that?
It was around, I think.
Because I wondered if
people had guessed, I think.
Yeah, you know what? Because in those days, a lot of people, entertainers, were frightened to come out as gay, weren't they?
Oh, take it like this. Take it like this. He was holding a gay party.
Yeah.
It was a party full of gays.
That does say a lot. It does say something.
I mean, this is. I mean, we're enlightened. We don't care about heterosexuals and homosexuals anymore, and quite rightly.
Yeah,
it's got nothing. What you do in your own private
food. I suppose in those days,
but back then in the 90s, this was the early 90s. This happened, wasn't it? It was the early 90s, and basically that was it. You know, you were a frog marched all over the place.
Yeah, because even actors that were openly gay, like Larry Grayson, wouldn't come out. He wouldn't come out. They tried to get him, and John Inman as well. They wouldn't come out, would they?
Oh, just think how hard it was for like Frankie Howard,
Frankie Howard, of course,
a personal king of comedy in my eyes, Frankie Howard, right? And how long he had to hide that? Basically, he was scared to death. He could have gone to prison at any time. You know, and yet he craved, attention, from males.
Yeah.
And he had to cry on people like Cilla Black's shoulder, because that's the only people that he could actually confide in.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't confide in another bloke.
Yeah.
They'd dodge you, they'd dock you in, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They'd say, oh, I didn't know you were gay. Oh, get away from me.
Yeah.
Like it's some sort of catching disease.
And and wasn't the age of consent 21 at one time?
Yeah.
I think it was, so they had to be very careful. Very careful. But it did go down eventually.
So there was this swinging 60s. And yet you couldn't openly admit that you were gay.
Yeah, well, the Act of Parliament that went through, I think, was 1967, but it took a lot to get that through. Because wasn't it David Steele, the Liberal leader, who was instigated that? They managed to get it through Parliament, but it was still 21. They were still discriminated against. There we are.
Yeah.
And then Stephen says, my mate was on Strike It Lucky. He won a trip to Chicago. Oh, wow. That was a good prize.
What the musical?
Oh, dear. Oh, no. It's the way you tell them. It's the way you tell them. Yeah.
Tell them.
Yeah. And then Wee Bob Hart, hi gents and all. Hello, Wee Bob.
Hey, there's Wee Bob Hart, the bastard. I was talking about him earlier.
And then he says, Si says, Wee Bob Hart, hi. And then, evening, Bob.
His ears were flapping because I told him about his.
Yeah,
I told him about his community question.
He says Oblivion Remastered is a game, not a film. Well, I looked it up and I found a film. Laugh out loud. I'm laughing so much here. My lord, laugh out loud. Sorry, it's all right. I know nothing about games, but I saw a that was called Oblivion. So I just, you know,
Oh,
mentioned it.
were you getting tied up with the Tom Cruise film?
Yeah, that's right. Yes,
Oh,
the
right,
Tom
yeah.
Cruise one.
I can
Yeah,
understand how you got a
yeah,
bit confused.
but um,
You know,
I should have guessed that it was a game in question.
I can understand the confusion, being as you're
Yeah,
about 95 and you've got about one brain cell.
yeah.
Right?
But
But you
you
know,
know,
I mean,
I know notes about games. You know, I know notes, absolutely notes about games. You know, I know all you do is you have these controls and you're going like this, and you're watching them, and that's it. You know, that's it. I know nothing about the games. uh, Mugman Movies says my favorite Tom Cruise film of recent years is Edge of Tomorrow. Such a fantastic sci-fi that deserved to do better.
I tell
Hopefully, the
you what,
sequel will be
I tell you
made.
what, the deluxe packaging on Edge of Tomorrow, that one of the first ones that come out, it came in a sort of like a clear perspex sort of like covering.
Yeah.
Gorgeous. And I have to admit, Edge of Tomorrow is a great film. It's a Groundhog Day science fiction film.
Yes. Yeah.
But the only thing that I heard negative about it, really, to be quite honest, was that the aliens looked a bit computer generated. They didn't really look like much.
Mm.
I really liked it. I have to say,
Yeah.
I Edge of Tomorrow, I think, is still a pretty darn good film.
I love the Groundhog Day style. I think it's great. I think I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah. And then we've got Jamie saying, "Evening, Bob," and then we've got Bob Art saying, "I was watching King Kong today on my new OLED LG TV." Yeah, you've been talking about that one, and noticed that there seemed to be more detail on my Fire Stick Netflix versus the native app on the LG TV. Googled it. Others disagreed. Any thoughts? Now, he might know something about that.
Well, it can happen that way. You might find, and this is just me talking out my ass, really, I suppose, a little bit. That your TV might require an update because you can stick a network cable into the back of your TV and do a firmware upgrade. Because this is what I know. When you stick a Fire Stick into the back of your TV, right, it's using HDMI, which is very fast. It's a very fast communication medium. And when you go through Netflix on that, you're basically probably got a higher bit rate. But if you go natively through your TV, it'll be as fast as your Wi-Fi or your network connection is, which might be. You see, there's all sorts of things I could be talking about here about metered speeds and all that sort of stuff. But also, the other thing is that the version that's on the TV could be an older copy of Netflix compared to the Fire Stick one. They will always update the Fire Stick one. The ones that go out on the TV, they have to system check. They have to do what they call testing of those much more prudently across the TVs. Otherwise, you could brick your TV. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Yeah. Just think, if you bricked your TV, there's a difference to bricking a Fire Stick that costs 40 quid and bricking a TV that cost you about $3,000.
Yes,
You
yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah,
So
yeah.
they always put the most bulletproof version of the software on the TV, and it can be several versions behind where there's more improvements. So yeah, there could be what he's talking about could be true, that the one on the Fire Stick was a better quality than the LG one because of the different version that it's on. You know? But like I say, whenever somebody tells me something like that, I've always turned around and said, a lot of people forget to update the firmware of their TV. Stick a network cable in and go to the settings and see if there's a firmware update.
Actually, I want to ask you something about the sticks that you can put in and download, things on. Now, I have a problem. I don't know. Is there any difference in the quality of them between cheaper ones and ones that are a bit more dearer. Now,
are we talking about memory sticks or what?
yeah, the memory sticks, the sticks that you can buy, download things on and stick them in the back of your TV.
Yeah.
I
If you look at the packaging, they tell you how fast the data rate is.
Because I keep putting these current ones I've got in, and it takes me ages I'm fiddling about getting a connection with them. Whereas I used to put them in before, and it would connect straight away. Sometimes it really gets annoying because I keep putting it in and it won't connect at all. It's very annoying.
It won't recognize the memory stick.
Is that what it's about?
No, is that what you're telling me?
Well, no, it does eventually work. I can get it.
What I'm trying to get at is that Bob is talking about Fire Sticks, which is a stick that allows you to have apps on it so that you can play Netflix on. Or are we talking memory sticks where you've downloaded a movie, stuck it on a memory stick, and stick it into the back of your telly?
No, what I'm saying is there a difference in quality of those? Are there what? But why?
Yeah, the memory. Are we talking the memory? Are we talking the memory stick?
Yeah, I'm talking my memory stick from my viewpoint. Because they were quite cheap what I got, and I wonder that I seem to be having a problem and connecting.
The trouble you've got with memory sticks is that there are cheap knockoffs from China.
Right.
And they basically will badge them up as SanDiscs and that.
Yeah.
When actually they're not at all. They've just put them inside the plastic
casing
of the SanDisc.
So do you think these are knockoffs then?
They could be.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. It makes sense.
There's a piece of software there's a piece of software that you can just Google this yourself that says memory stick checker, and it'll tell you if it's a knockoff or not.
Right. And you think that's why it's not connecting as well?
No. The problem that you've got could be, for all I know, that your USB port on the back of your TV has started to wear out.
Yeah, I think that's it, because
you keep pulling it in and out, then basically,
Yeah, because when I put them on here on my laptop, it works fine. They work all right on my laptop. So you think it's the port on the TV then?
Could possibly be.
Yeah, I bet it is, isn't it? But I've got two. I use both of them, and they both seem to be causing the same problem. But
then I would say it's the memory stick.
You think so? Cheap.
At the end of the day, look, when you buy a memory stick, some of them have got metal ends, some of them have got plastic ends, right?
Yes.
When you stick them into your TV, you'll find it's got a metal shell that it pushes itself into.
That's right.
That metal can cut away the plastic. It can just wear away and wear away and wear away.
Yeah. I think when I get some more, I think I'll get some. It's worth paying a bit extra, isn't it? Getting some bit quality.
Like I say, that
it
depends on how you deal with things. I mean, look, I've got cheap crap like this. Crap like that, and then I've got much more expensive ones like this, where you've got a little holder, but you put the little memory card into here. But you take one of these little cards, and you just stick it into there.
Oh yeah.
And these are much cheaper, but basically what I'm saying is they're you get larger capacity for the amount of money you get.
I've used those little cards before. That might be worth looking at. You can buy those little cards, can you?
Yeah, of course you can.
Yeah, easily. Yeah, I might have a look at that.
You can buy a 1 terabyte little card like that for around about 90 quid these days. About 80 quid.
I think there's somewhere on my laptop where I can insert it. I hope. I think there must be somewhere. I'll have a look anyhow. I can transfer on from there. But
I'll tell you
but what you're saying, I think, I could well have damaged the thing, do you think? two of them. It's a
Well,
bit of a coincidence. Two of them.
any person that pulls out, pushes in, pulls out, pushes in over a year,
Yeah,
it's gonna start to wear down.
yeah.
Right.
I wonder
And
if
all
I'm
I'm
better off.
saying is, I mean, most of the stuff. I mean, I've got an actual hard drive
Yeah,
behind my telly that's permanently plugged in, and it's got a 1 terabyte
yeah.
drive permanently connected. Every now and again, I unplug that 1 terabyte drive, purge it, and put a load of more stuff on it.
Can I just ask you, on my monitor, big TV screen, will
Yeah.
there be a thing where I can insert this that little cardboard thing?
Well, I've just told you, you buy a little holder.
So I get the older and plug that into the USB.
That's a holder, look, and the little memory stick goes in there, look.
Oh, right. So I put that in there, and so it's a holder I need to get hold
Yeah.
of.
These holders about 99 pence.
Are they? So I'll Google. I'll have a look at that. A
Yeah,
holder.
look. Here's one. Look, see the memory card inserted. Look.
Oh. So what do the called memory card holders, are they?
Yeah, look. I'll pull the card out. Look. There's the card. Look, there's the card. There's that.
And I can buy some memory cards as
Slide
well.
that in and stick that into your.
And I can stick that in my laptop and the TV.
Yeah.
Transfer over. Oh, yeah. I'll have a look into that. So it's memory card holders. Yep. Brilliant. Because I'm not doing very well with those sticks at the moment.
First of all, we just do a firmware update. When you were watching King Kong, was it the 1930s one, or was it the Peter Jackson thing?
Yeah.
I want to know which King Kong was he watching. Was he watching King Kong from the 70s?
Well,
was he watching King Kong from the 30s? Was he watching King Kong from Peter Jackson? Was he watching King Kong versus Godzilla? I've got so many bloody questions.
Unless he's already gone, it might be a bit late. I know he doesn't always stay.
Yeah.
But anyhow, there you are. Right. Simo says, has normal TV improved, by the way, or is it still shite? I got rid of the license about 7 years ago.
It's shite.
Yeah,
it's shite.
It's actually, it's probably got worse than shite, if there is worse than shite. Netflix Fire Stick versus Netflix LG TV app. No idea, Bob. And then we've gone through that. Tony says, also watched The Nightingale 2018, a story of revenge set in 1820s colonial Tasmania, brutal and harrowing at times, but a very good watch. That sounds good. Brutal and harrowing. Tasmania, Aussie stuff. Tony, I've heard that Nightingale is a tough watch. Oh, crikey. 500,000 households cancelled BBC license fee last year. I bet the BBC are, well, shitting themselves.
Yeah, you can say it in here, shitting themselves. Yeah.
And I'm sure, as I said, the BBC will disappear, and it's going to have to change its whole funding. And it's coming up, getting nearer each year, isn't it? Getting nearer.
Believe it or not, the ITV lose their broadcasting license in 2035.
Oh, really? And that's interesting. Ah, wow. But they've got the archive again. They'll be able to make money on the archive, surely, I think.
So that they're relying that ITVX is going to be their savior, because their model is based on advertising.
Yes.
Advertising revenue has been down and down and down.
Yeah.
And people don't pick up the ITVX subscription service because it's free.
Yeah.
Unless you want to pay and not have adverts in it.
Yeah.
and there's nobody picking it up. So basically, they have the adverts in. They don't mind watching it. And I'll tell you the reason I think behind the reason that is we're used to adverts on ITV, so we don't give a shit whether there's an advert in it or not. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
If you stick an
Yeah.
advert on the BBC, it will be so disruption. You'll be going, what? Well, what do you mean 10 minutes? We're into 10 minutes of EastEnders and bloody there's an advert come up for bounty bars or something. That's like that would be so disjarring because for years and years and years we've never had advertising, right?
Yeah, no, it would be
So there is no sell for BBC iPlayer really. Because you're getting the same show that you watch as it was broadcast, but ITV you can pay a subscription and have the adverts not there, which would be a total game changer, really.
Yeah,
from an ITV perspective. But when they give you two options, you can have it for free, or you can pay a $6.99 without adverts. Well, of course, you're going. Well, I'll go free then. I don't want adverts. It's ITV. I'm used to adverts every 15 minutes on there.
Yeah. Actually, ITV annoying when they transmit live football. You know my BBC show, because when they have the half time, they have to make up. There's an advert about every 2 or 3 minutes. They have a quick discussion on what's happened in match. More adverts, then more adverts.
I must admit, whenever there was something on TV that was a major thing, like Charles and Diana's wedding.
Oh,
and it was on every channel, right? It was on every channel, right?
Yeah.
Whenever they turned around and talked about the broadcasting figures, right? It was always, oh yeah, I watched it on the BBC.
Of course, yeah.
Well, I'm not surprised really, because you don't really want to hear Charles and Diana read out their vows, and suddenly a curly whirly advert comes out in the middle of it. Yeah. And Charles, do you take Diana to be your wife? And Curly Willy, the Milky Bar kids the Milky Bars are on me or something, right? And then you cut to Charles with his big ears, and everybody thinks it's a PG Tips advert.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
and then with his big ears.
They're not allowed to have them, are they, anymore? PG Tips.
Wow, that's proper tea, you see. PG Tips. Not this Yorkshire tea, Sean.
Here we go. Anyhow, I watched a movie called Rapture Palooza the other night. It was a movie that I hated but loved. That's interesting. Dark humor, sort of Austin Powers feel, with Borat, then standard American comedy. Worth a watch. It's
I haven't seen it.
You said you hated, but you loved it.
Well, yeah, I mean,
tell
me something, Ian. Have you got a film that you've got a love-hate relationship with?
I'm just trying to think.
I don't mean a film like we know, like you just don't like 2000. You just
I know what you mean.
I'm talking a love-hate relationship where
you
don't know why you like it, really, but you do for some unknown reason. You know, you like it. You know.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of one. It's a good question.
I mean, mine is Waterworld.
Oh yeah, mind you, Carl, he's as an actor. A lot of people don't seem to get on with him, do they? I don't know. I hear so many people.
I watched Waterworld, right? And I thought it was an okay-ish film, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, UK Gold or something got hold of it, and it was on every bloody 3 days or something, right? I couldn't turn the channel over, and there'd be another showing of it, and it was on every week for around about 6 months.
Yeah.
And yet every time it was on, I watched it.
Oh.
I'd be turning the channel over and it'll be in the middle of like Waterworld, and I'd go, oh, I'll watch it now.
Yeah.
And I'd be like this, watching it, going, why am I watching this? I watched it 3 days ago. It was on telly the bloody night before. I know what's going to happen. Why? Why am I watching it? And I was like that for 6 months. No word of a lie. And I tell you what, even now, sometimes I get a hankering going, I ain't watched Waterworld.
Yeah, so
It's like I've got an addiction or something.
yeah. I mean, it isn't that bad, is it? Waterworld, it's okay. It's all right. Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot worse.
I think a lot of that happens on TV.
Yeah,
I think it still happens now, even though people say they haven't got a TV license and all that.
yeah.
You thumb through the channels and you go, I've seen that, but I'm going to watch it.
But it's
And
funny.
yet there's 190 other channels that you could choose from.
Yeah.
You come across something you've seen before, you go, oh, I'll watch that. And you don't know why.
Isn't it interesting that a test of a good film is one that people watch, and two films instantly come into my mind that people love and watch over again: The Great Escape and The Italian Job.
Yeah.
Those two films, people just can't get enough, but they must see them inside out. They must know them inside out. You don't go into Great Escape and go, oh, I wonder who's going to escape. You always, oh, there he is. He's going to escape. He's going to escape. That's it. Yeah. And I'm always waiting for Richard Attenborough moment. The Richard Attenborough moment.
Actually, I had a Richard Attenborough question. I think, didn't I? This on my blog, didn't I? This week.
Yes. You asked about your favorite film. You chose 10. Did you choose 10 Rillington Place? Oh no, you chose Chaplin, the directed.
Oh well, yeah. What I said is that there's so many because I even like Churchill.
Yeah, I was shouting out loads of his films. I was shouting out 10 Rillington Place. I was like,
I did say that one.
Yeah, you did mention it. Oh yeah. Anyhow, let's get on. So yeah, we've done that one. And Tony says it was a rewatch for me, Si, but then a while ago I'd forgotten how quite brutal it is. That's that other film that we were talking about, the brutal one. Sinners is literally a tale of two halves. I would compare it more closely to Demon Knight than Dusk Till Dawn. All right, yeah. I'm just going on what I heard, what people.
Well, that was the thing that pricked my ears up because Demon Knight is more an anthology, little stories all put together.
Yeah. I've just been listening to reviews that people said, but I want to see
that's Tales from the Crypt, Demon Knight, isn't it?
Yeah, but I definitely want to see this Sinners film. Definitely. And then he's put shitting. Yeah, that's where I knew you meant that. Yeah.
How dare you?
You'd lose subscribers without the beard, Ian. People would think it was an imposter. Yeah, I know I would. There's no way I'm going to shave that beard off. The beard is staying. It's staying. I can't bear it, and I'm lazy as well.
Well, I tend to find that the grey in his beard takes the shine off of his head.
Yeah. But there's no way I'm going back to shaving. No. I think Ian and Delboy should have their hair off, and Ian should have a goatee. Laugh out loud. Well, thank you. Actually, I did have a goatee beard. It didn't last long. I got fed up of it. That was a long time ago.
Did you look like the master?
Yeah. Just and then Tony's laughing.
Hang on, you didn't answer. Did you look like the master?
A bit, maybe. Yeah, but a bald. Even when I was younger, I was losing my hair pretty quickly, so my hair thinned out quite a lot. Going back. Delboy needs to grow a goatee. A pair of them would look like two escaped convicts. Oh, well, thank you. Yeah.
I had a beard a long time ago.
Yeah. TV licensing bans are a myth. Oh, right. It's all bullshit. There's no way TV licensing can know what you are watching unless you have your TV where if they look through your front room window and can see. Oh, that's interesting.
That whole TV license van thing all
It's
came
a
about
myth.
it came about with adverts when they were talking
Yes.
about paying for your TV license.
Ah.
In fact, you had more of a chance of knowing that somebody had a TV by the aerial that's on the stack of your roof.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Than you did
Yeah.
anything else. But as I said, they actually found out really through your purchase of a TV from a major electrical outlet like
Couriers or
Rumbelow.
somewhere just pass on the name. Yeah. Yeah. I wonder
It
if
wasn't
they
the
still
artists,
do
but it was
that.
actually a TV adverting campaign that
Yeah.
the vans came, the
Yeah.
TV vans.
Yeah. I can get why they've done it. It's for TV. They used to reckon years back when you saw vans going around that they could pick up the signals going into individual houses. Probably all a myth. Yeah, it probably is, but it scared people. You see, people were going, "Oh, look, there's a van outside." Oh, yeah. Oh, it must be them.
Yeah, well, actually, it was just the Liberal Democrats trying to get votes.
Yeah. Easy way of getting around it is shut your curtains. Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, just shut the curtains. Nobody can
But that'll block the TV signal going into the magic of your TV set, wouldn't it?
And James says, question. Oh, if you were a superhero in the film The Mystery Men, what would your alter ego be? This is in the hope you've seen Mystery Men.
I have. Mystery Men, that's the one where they've got a bloke who's got his superpower is with forks and things.
Is it a comedy one? I've not seen it. I don't think I've seen it, actually.
Was it Ben Stiller in that? I can't remember.
I don't know.
But anyway, one of the people with superpowers, he used to be able to play the forks or the spoons.
Oh, I get you. It's that sort of an alternative thing.
I'm pretty sure it's got. I'm gonna look it up now. I'm pretty sure Ben Stiller's in it. But
he's saying, what would your alter ego be? So you've got to think of another character then. Another character.
Yeah, Ben Stiller is in it. Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah, William H. Macy. I forgot he was in it.
Yeah. You've got to think of another alter ego character. Well,
yeah. So what would be your day job?
Oh, yeah, I see. Yeah, so I'd be, I know what I would stick to. I'd be a librarian. I'd be a librarian, and I could, in the library, I could get changed in the library, hidden in some corner or somewhere that nobody went, some dusty old room that nobody goes in. Like a local studies room that every time I used to go in local studies, nobody was in. It's like people were not interested in local studies. So I could get changed in there into my costume.
I don't know.
I'd be a librarian.
I could be cheeky and call myself TV license man.
Oh,
by day, I used to sell TVs out of Curries and Rumbelows, and at night, I used to go around shopping people for having no TV license. That'd be a good alter ego, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I'm surprised you hadn't done a joke like, "Oh, why don't you get as Captain Birdseye or something like that?" Or
yeah, but that was obvious.
Father Christmas.
That was obvious, wasn't it?
Yeah, Father Christmas. Get them all out.
You could be Uncle Albert on Only Fools and Horses.
Actually,
you could be on the Broadway show of Only Fools and Horses.
Yeah, I could do Uncle Albert. That's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah. Yeah.
You could be Dickie Attenborough in Miracle on 30.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, brilliant. Yeah. Oh yeah, anything. I'll be Richard Attenborough. Yeah, I could do, couldn't I? Yeah, that's who I am. Yeah, I'll do that. Right. We've got here. Tony, if they're looking in, you could report them for voyeurism and peeping Tom. Ooh. Oh yeah, you could be up to all sorts. Stephen, you would be TV antenna man with the ability to watch TV undetected. Yeah.
Well, similar to things what I just said, isn't it?
Yeah. It says, I think Ian would look good in a toupee. No, I wouldn't. No, it's not me. That bit of air on the head. No, it would look ridiculous. Mind you, some people might say that. I'd miss this. I'd miss that. You know.
See, what people don't know, you see,
Here
is
we go.
that Ian is really secretly William Shatner. And
I'm that old.
during the day, right, he's out riding his horses and going to conventions, and then at night he does his YouTube channel reviewing X-Files and Doctor Who episodes.
Yeah.
See, people don't know this. I know it because I've known him for years, you see.
Yeah, of course.
See? And he told me to keep it a secret.
But
because he doesn't like to be called the Shat. You know what I mean?
It sounds like something like
right.
Oh boy. Yeah. I keep thinking, Dan, really, mind you, he looks good for his age, doesn't he?
How old is he now? 91 or something, isn't he? Or something?
Yeah, he looks great for his age. Yeah. And then oh no way! I'm not having a Bobby Charlton. Oh no!
You could be Ramsey Nesbitt. You could be Ramsey Nesbitt, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Do you remember the Hamlet adverts where he tried to get his photograph taken? And,
yeah. No.
You know, and the chair dropped at the end, and you just had Hamlet is a mild regard by Benson and Hedges.
Oh, actually, this is true. I think he was. Brucey was famously rumored to wear a toupee. Yes,
it wasn't rumored. It was a bloody gods. It was well known.
It was yeah. High court enforcement is for people who are in debt. Ah, yes. We on that program. They used to pop up like nobody's business.
Yeah,
the high court things. That comb over got me, Jamie. Thank you. Tony would be DVD man and be able to share his unlimited DVDs out from his sleeves. DVD man, there you are. You're winding a certain person up again, Jamie. I wonder who that person could be. Delboy is rant man, where his deafening ranting can turn him smaller or larger. It's sort of a bit of.
I don't rant. I don't know what's a rant.
Hulk kind of thing.
I don't. Gamma radiation makes me into rant man.
Rant man, yeah.
What's a rant? I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, rants. Yeah, your famous rants. Yeah, we've got to have those. Yeah, that's it. So you're rant man. I think that's quite good. You get the thing.
I'll give him rant man when I meet him. I tell you, he'll be on the bloody floor.
TV licensing that cannot come in your house unless they have proof that you've been watching TV without a license. Then they have to prove it. Oh, right. And then we've still got this. If not a toupee, Ian could use that spray on hair. Laugh out loud. God, I've seen that. Who on earth would spray their head?
That was in an episode of Frasier as well, by the way.
Oh, it looks awful.
They had Frasier's dad put spray on.
Oh, did it? Oh.
And of course, every time he sat down on a settee or something, he left a black mark or something.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then when the lights got hot, it was starting to melt. You know, with all
Yes.
these
Yeah.
lines about him, like melting down his
And what about
forehead.
when it rained? If you got wet, it'd all come down. Yeah, not a good idea, I would say. Sarah, do you remember the episode of The Young Ones where Adrian ate the TV to hide it from the licensing inspector? Yes, that with that TV. Yeah, Steve. And then as it was, yes, Cyrus, yes, hi, laugh out loud. Ian should grow a porn mustache. Oh, the Burt Reynolds kind of mustache. Yeah. That would be really good, wouldn't it? And then James says, Roy Castle is an excellent shout, Ian. He held so many world records at the time. Oh, yeah. Well, he used to do that show, didn't he? The Record Breakers. Used to watch him on Record Breakers with the McWhirter twins, as I remember. There were twins, weren't there?
Oh, Ian McWhirter and
yeah. One didn't he get assassinated or killed for something? I'm sure he did. Yeah, one of the twins. Yeah. Arsenal have drawn means the title is virtually Liverpool's. Just need a draw on Sunday against Spurs. There you are. It's in the bag. It will be.
What's that got to do about Leeds?
Yeah. Well, we'll be playing them next year. Not next year. This year in the new season.
Hang on. You'll be losing against them next year. That's
well, we might be, but we'll be there. We'll be there. At least we'll be there, won't we? You know,
actually, I
even
was
if
saying,
we go back down.
I actually myself was watching the football this weekend, right? And I watched Burnley because they went up as well, didn't they?
Yeah.
And I was saying they all run on the pitch, right? All the players were jumping up and down, saying they're in the Premiership and all of this sort of stuff. And I was thinking to myself, how long is it going to be before they realise that they might not be in the team next year, that they're going to be sold during the summer? They're actually still in the Championship.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you now, half those people that got them into that Premiership will be sold.
Yeah, and Burnley, it's always like that. They just,
so there they were going, hey, I'm going to be in the Premiership next year, and I'm thinking to myself, you went.
Yeah. And Leeds have probably sell all their best players again. This is always happens. We've already had people come in. Like once you get a good player, they're all in. Everybody's after them, and so hopefully, all I want is just to survive. I'll be happy just to survive for a year, and we'll see what happens. Oh dear, not them.
They weren't talented.
No. Oh dear, please. No. Sticky Vicky. What a name in Benidorm.
Oh,
supposed to be talented. I've never seen Benidorm, but the name Sticky Vicky.
No, honestly, I've seen Benidorm, Sticky Vicky. Yeah.
Was that awful? Yeah.
I do you know what the funny thing about Benidorm is that I watched it at the very beginning and thought it was really quite funny.
Yeah.
And then it got boring.
Yeah. It went on for years, didn't it?
And it turned from a half-hour show into something like an hour-long thing.
Yeah.
And then all the stories started to interconnect, and I started to go.
Wasn't there
something
in
sometimes I just like to switch something on and have a self-contained little story. I don't. Really want...
Wasn't there some actor in drag all the time, and that would have really got on my nerves?
They had so many people in it that were things like hairdressers that were inside the hotel, and and he was gay, and then he was out all the time in the gay village.
Oh God, no!
All of this.
Couldn't be doing with all that. No,
I think he ended up being on Coronation Street.
Oh crikey! Don't remember Sticky Vicky. The larger guy was supposed to be a hairdresser. Was a good character.
Yeah, and I think he's in Coronation Street now as an undertaker.
put a pair of shades on Ian. He could turn up with Jamie as Blue Brothers substitute act. I don't know. Blues Brothers.
You are. Do you know what? I'm more a blues brother than he is.
Blues Brother. No. Oh, dear me. No.
How come he gets all the cool roles and people give me shit?
Well, you could turn up as James Goldsmith, couldn't you? You could do. You could do.
I want to be the cool person like Belushi or something.
Well,
Why
could
not be stuck in the background, right, with a bat on or something?
Yeah,
right?
well, you could be lifting all your film soundtrack albums up and seeing all the wonderful coolness of all that.
That's what I got to say.
Cool with all these film soundtracks.
Here they are, right? These people here, right? Saying, "Oh, you're like I don't know, Eric and Ernie or something, right?" Me, they look at me and they say, "You're a cranky." Oh, thanks. I get all the shit ones.
Yeah. Well, you need to move your glasses a bit more and move about. You need to
take the glasses off. How's that? Yeah, look.
Yeah. Don't be a cranky. No, you might look like a cranky.
Miserable bastards, the lot of you.
And Si says, Ian, are you happy that Leeds United have won promotion to the Premier League? You bet I am. I'm ecstatic. Fantastic. I've not got big expectations, but if we can survive, then, I'll be happy. Always Leeds supporter till I die. Yeah. And then even beyond, after I'm dead. Yeah. Stephen, yeah. Tony laughing, yeah. Laughing. Tony says, I'm suitably chastised now. Anymore, I will be exhaustively quality checked. Oh, yeah, that's about the DVD, isn't it? Yeah, that's a...
How dare you send crap-packed, bloody broken cases, pieces of shit, to Ian, and have that poor postman have to keep going back and forth to the sorting office, you bastard.
Oh, dear. This new Predator trailer has come out today. I'm not convinced on the look of the Predator. Well, did they give it away then in the trailer what a Predator looked like? Oh, dear.
I hate it when they do that. When the original Predator trailer came out, all you knew is he used heat vision or something, right? You never saw any picture of him, what he looked like at all.
That's
you
what
had to watch the film to actually know what he looked like.
Totally agree. Yeah. And that's why I won't. Now you've said that, I certainly won't watch the trailer, even though it might be tempting. I don't want to watch it. I want to see. But there we are. Talking about actors being scared about coming out as gay. Look at the shock after Rod Hudson died. Yeah, God blimey.
Well, he came out just before, didn't he?
Yeah, the AIDS thing, wasn't it?
Was Archie Leach, Cary Grant gay? Come out as gay? Did he come out as gay?
I don't know.
He was Archie Leach, wasn't he? Archie Leach.
Cary Grant.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't. Was he gay then? Was that a well-known secret?
No, I'm just saying. I think he came out as gay, didn't he?
Yeah.
I mean,
Rock Hudson
what was John Wayne's name? It was Tracy something or other.
Yeah, it was. It was Marion. Was it somebody? It was a really girly name. It was a funny name, wasn't it? It was a girly one. Yeah. Oh dear. Now it was a shock for Rock Hudson, but not in the industry. Everybody in Hollywood knew he was gay. But
he died of. He was one of the early people who died of AIDS, didn't he? I mean, he lost a lot of weight.
That's why it was big headlines. Yeah.
I mean, you saw what he looked like when he died. I mean, he was gaunt. He had those big glasses, sunglasses on.
And in those days, as I remember, right at the beginning, if anybody died of AIDS, they immediately assumed they were gay.
Yeah.
It wasn't blood transfusion. They were seen straight away as being gay. Minority Report was a good Tom Cruise movie. I would like him to do a third Jack Reacher movie while he's finishing up with the Mission Impossible franchise. Yeah, has he got one more Mission Impossible one to do?
I wonder what they call it. Jack Reacher in Reaching for the Top Shelf. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Could you imagine that as a film title? Reaching for the Top Shelf. It's sort of, you'd think it was a comedy. I think.
Jack Reacher in Top Shelf Reacher.
Yeah, Top Shelf. Yeah. All right, sounds like a porn mag thing, wasn't it, or something? Oh God, he's reaching for the top
funny
shelf.
thing is he's 5'2".
He's getting the latest issue of I don't know, Lovebirds or something. There we are.
Up the ladder with Jack Reacher.
Yeah. Yeah, mate. What can you say? I don't know. I'm not fussed about the Jack Reacher films. I thought they were just average. I've never seen them.
Yeah, they were reaching above his station, weren't they?
Oh, yeah.
Overreaching.
Overreaching. Yeah, his abilities. Yeah. Oh dear. Tell you what, watched a Bronson slasher, 10 to Midnight. Yeah, I think I've heard that one, not seen it before. A Reasonable Watch. Oh, yeah. That's good.
I mean, coming to an Ian house in the future.
Magnolia is my favorite Tom Cruise performance. He should have won an Oscar for it. A lot of people cite that film.
At the same time as Magnolia. I've forgotten what won that year. I've got Magnolia. I bought it.
It's one I'd be interested, I think, to check out because
everybody bought that. It came out in a deluxe packaging about a year or so ago.
It's quite different, isn't it? It's quite an interesting film. It's got
yeah.
I don't know what the premise.
It's all different stories. It's like that other film that was set around a subway station. You know, 5 stories set on a subway station.
Oh.
Magnolia is about. I think is it about all things that go on during New Year's Eve or something?
Oh, is it? Wow, that sounds good. Yeah, quite like those ideas. The stories,
like 5 stories that go on New Year's Eve or something. I know that I bought it, and I know I bought it because I love the film, and I haven't watched it since I bought it.
Yeah. Oh well, there's one to
another one of
bring
them.
out and watch. Yeah, bring it out of the vault.
Yeah.
Or the garage. Or wherever.
Oh, you mean my high security?
Yeah, high security that Jamie's still trying to break into.
I've got searchlights and dogs walking around the.
I'm sure Jamie can get around it. I'm sure he can get in there somehow. Yeah. Si says, Torio, were you surprised when Kelly Preston turned up as one of the daughter's roommates? Oh, right. I haven't seen the film. I like the first one, Jamie. Second one was okay. I think he got MCQ, the director of the new Mission Impossible film, and a good script. It might be good. All right. Okay. And then Weeble Bart says there are different Fire Sticks. You get normal HD ones, which are cheaper, and you get a 4K Fire Stick, which is more expensive. All right. Okay. Tony, that's a good film, Tony. I enjoyed that. So not familiar with her work, to be honest, so not particularly surprised. Tony, John Travolta's late wife. Oh yeah, sad. What format is the memory stick formatted in. If it's FAT32, then that's why it's so slow. Oh, right.
Yeah, FAT32's got FAT32. You tend to find that most people don't use that anymore. FAT32's got its limitations, like you can't put a file above 4 gig on it because FAT32 is an old file system for Windows 95 and Windows XP, but it's the most compatible. But because of its oldness, it means that it will be slower read write speeds. That's quite true.
Mm.
But at the end of the day, I wouldn't have thought that you'd have had a large memory stick and have it formatted in FAT32. Most people will have formatted it in NTFS, or even even if you haven't it FAT32, you might have had it as exFAT, something like that. It would have given you more flexibility for larger files. Most people that want a Blu-ray, sharp film won't tend to have it in won't tend to find it'll fit in 4 gig. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah. I mean, NTFS is what you really should format it in. Yeah. So check your memory sticks and see what format it's in.
Yeah. Just check site. It was a first listed film roll. All right. Okay. It's been revealed that Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning is going to be 169 minutes long. That's a long time, isn't it? Peter Jackson is mentioned there. King Kong.
Oh, he's watching the Peter Jackson King Kong.
Yeah. Can't keep my eyes open. Have a good night, all. We'll watch on the catch up. Good night, Bob. Thank you for.
Oh, do you know what I say to that? You bastard!
Yeah,
so you come in.
You
come in. You bloody start spouting off all your stuff, and then you go turn around and go, "Oh, by the way, I'm off." Bye. Yeah, bollocks. No, see you soon, wee Bob.
Night, wee Bob. Night, Bob. You mean Final Reckoning, don't you, Si? Night, Bob. And then he says, I was watching, this is Stephen Walls, I was watching Bar Rescue last night with John Taffer. There's a reason I don't eat out in restaurants, especially seeing the filth in some of those kitchens. Yeah, I know what you mean. When you see some of these kitchens, yeah, I've seen them. Not nice. Mind you, I've not eaten out for, God, years. I've not been out to a restaurant for years and years. I love Bar Rescue. What's that? I've not heard of that. What do they rescue bars that are failing or something like that? I don't know. See, Moles, if I was in a restaurant and eating my meal and see John Taffer walk in, I'm getting up and straight to the hospital. Nurse asking you, what is the reason for your visit? Well, I was in a restaurant and just eating my meal. And
and that's my mum's panic button. I've just got to go and check her.
Okay, that's fine. Yep, off you go. Brilliant. Yep. I just eaten my meal, and it was John Taffer. Nurse, get this guy in quarantine immediately. Yes, I can see that definitely. Simo said, some of these owners who open bars just do it for somewhere for them to have a drink. They're all clueless. I'm sure they are, definitely. Oh, let's have a look. I prefer Ian as library man, and he hits his enemies over the head with his encyclopedias. Yeah, I could do that. I could give him a good whack. Yeah, all those big books I used to win. Bang! I love it. Yeah, I can get rid of them. Yeah, I'll tell you what is the most redundant book in a library. Do you know what it is? It would be nowadays the Encyclopedia Britannica. Do you remember that? You used to go in a library and they'd be stacks of these. And they'd do updates, yearly updates. I remember them well. And they're totally redundant now, aren't they? Absolutely redundant. Nobody would even bother even looking at them. Yeah, totally redundant. But in a way, they might be interesting because you could look at them and just see how things have changed or what was predicted in some of these older ones that is not true, that hasn't happened. Or yeah, but yeah, they're the most redundant book I can think of in many ways. You know, it's like you've got books. Like I've got one like an encyclopedia of science fiction. It's quite an old one. Really, I think it's in 90s, but it never feels redundant because you can open it up and it includes TV series and films going way back, things that you hardly ever heard of, and that never goes redundant. You know, obviously there's been loads since that, but something like Encyclopedia Britannica, it's just totally redundant. You don't need that. Google is the Encyclopedia Britannica now, and so much better. Yeah. So I haven't, I know I do love books, but yeah, it was always a nightmare. I remember when I worked in the library and you had to have the updates. You always had to have updates, and then more and more would come on and fill your shelves up. And yeah, so that is perhaps the most redundant book I can think of. Final watch of the week: The Town, that dreaded sundown, 1976, about a hooded killer in 1946 Arkansas. Is that
Arkansas.
Arkansas. Arkansas. Yeah, not Arkansas. Arkansas.
Arkansas.
I've seen that film mentioned, but I've never seen it. It pops up as a slasher.
It's where that big boat landed with all the animals that went on 2x2.
Right. Yeah.
What
can I say? Yeah. The jokes. And perhaps we should put now a warning up, should come up. Warning. Please, we apologize for the quality of jokes. They're getting worse. Yes, they're getting worse. Yeah. Delboy looks like Russell T. Davis. Do you think I want insult? Actually, you may have a point.
Yeah, Frank, what have I done to you, Steve? Stephen, what have I done to you, you bastard?
I think you're right. He does look a bit like Russell T. Davis.
You know what? For years, people said I look like Christopher Biggins.
Oh, nice one.
Right. Actually, somebody did say I look like Elton John once.
Well, you'd be very happy with that, wouldn't you? You'd be extremely happy.
Care.
Yeah.
Look, bloody Russell T. Davis, thanks very much.
Yeah. So you're responsible for all this rubbish that keeps coming out now.
Hang on a minute.
Yeah.
Who's that guy who wrote for Doctor Who? Who's called Moores?
No.
Yeah, so you wrote all the shit, did you? The shitty Doctor Who episodes.
Oh, dear me. James says, is that any good, Tony? I see that the Blu-ray around from time to time. That's the Town that dreaded Sunday. Yeah, I see it going around, but I've not bothered buying it.
No, because bloody Tony York's going to send it.
Waiting for him to buy it, so he'll send me a DVD copy. I'm on about the real Benny Dom, not the TV show. Well, is there any difference? I've never been to Benny Dom. I don't know.
No, nor have I.
It's not somewhere that I would think, oh, I really must
My
go to
friend
Benidorm.
Meister went there, and he said it really. He said he hadn't watched the TV show until he got a ticket to go there
Yeah.
last year, and then he went actually out there, and he said it's amazing that parts of Benidorm are like that, but actually it's got some very beautiful places that you can actually
Yes.
visit.
Yeah.
So
I've
really,
seen
the TV show has given it a really bad slant on it. A bit really.
in winter, it's full of all sort of retired people all going
Pensioners,
around in
yeah.
those cart things, that people go around in
But it's
the
just
cart.
the promenade, as we call it, is full of English bars and all that sort of
Yeah,
stuff, tattoo parlors and all that.
yeah. But I think that it's high season. It must be full of all real younger people doing it.
Getting pissed up. Yeah.
Yeah. What? Yeah. Oh dear. About time we got a proper rant, Delboy. You still not? Yeah.
Do you think I haven't done a proper rant today?
You think the quality of rants has gone down? Has the quality of rants gone down? Do a rant.
Well,
Do a rant
you,
on the quality of rants.
bollocks to the lot of you then. Little shits. Here I am. What? Oh, what am I, the monkey, right? With the bloody musical instrument. I'm supposed to sort of like act and that on cue for you guys. Is that what you're trying to say, you miserable fucking shits? I'm telling you now, I come out a bit. I ain't even been paid a sausage roll for doing this. Right? Talk about the BBC before Bill Cotton and all that shit. Right? Right, I haven't been given 50 pence for this gig. Tell you.
As much as that, as much as 50 pence. Plumbing heck, what do you think we are? Plumbing heck.
I'm still getting threatening bits through the post from this guy. Tell you.
That's more like it. Threatening or we might offer a sixpence.
He offered me a box of Yorkshire tea once. Thanks.
Yeah, Yorkshire tea, yeah.
I ain't even got a Christmas card from this bastard.
Yeah, we might just
haven't even got a Christmas card from this bastard, I tell you.
What about a farthing? That would be all right, wouldn't it? A farthing would be quite good.
Penny farthing.
Yeah. I can imagine you on a penny farthing. Yeah, I can see that.
How the hell did you ride that bloody bike? You had to get up a step ladder and a small wheel at the back.
God, I always thought it could be quite painful. That what if you
have you actually seen one at a history museum of one of those bikes?
I have seen
it had actually poles sticking out where you had to put your feet.
I know. I was thinking about my balls. I think that would be more worrying about what would happen.
They'd be gone.
You just that would be it.
Yeah, just getting on with penny farthing. I'm travelling from London to Leeds on it.
By the time you got to end the journey, your voice will have changed.
That's your art. That's your ass gone. If you're travelling from London to Leeds on a penny farthing.
Hello, you'll be going. Hello, everybody. I'm here now.
Yeah, an octave higher. Yeah, you'd be an octave higher, I tell you.
Laughing there. You don't want any ball damage. I enjoyed it, Jenny. Ben Johnson was good as a tough Texas Ranger. I thought you meant the TV show Benidorm, Jamie. I don't know. That's all right. I did. This is it. Yeah, Tim Healy from Avida Zanepet was the guy in drag on Benidorm. Oh God, it was awful. Yeah, I just remember saying I've never watched the whole thing. I just saw a clip of it and thought, oh my God, people watch that.
I used to look up to Tim Healy, which is strange because he's about 4'2".
Yeah. Oh God, another batch.
Well, hang on. But he really was. You really sort of like did like him in Alvida Zanepet, didn't you? Because he was sort of like the leader of the lot of them, doesn't he?
Yeah.
But he did play in Benidorm. He was also in Coronation Street.
Oh right, yeah.
And I'm trying to think what else he's been in. He's been in a lot of things. But I must admit, Alvida's Aim Pit, I've got a soft spot. I mean, whenever that's on TV, I watch it.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
1982. It's a bloody
Right, it's a long
marvelous
time.
year, really.
Yeah.
That was a central production. That was.
Yeah.
And yet it had everybody from up north on it.
Yeah. Right.
It was a Midland show, and it had everybody from Newcastle.
Oh, from northeast, lad.
Yeah.
Reaching for the top shelf, starring a midget who works in a newsagent and has a dream that one day he might reach the top shelf. There you are. There's a synopsis of the film.
I told you. I made that up. I ought to get a commission.
There you are. Yeah. Does the overall champion of Countdown still win a set of encyclopedias? That's a good question. Now, I've got a friend in Loughborough who I've known for years. He was on Countdown and he won. And he got those blooming encyclopedias and he tried to sell them and he still couldn't sell them. He wanted rid of the buggers. They took up far too much room.
So if you're on the show, don't you win a teapot or something if you just basically do well?
You get these encyclopedias that nobody wants. Obviously, I bet now. I wonder, do they still do that with it? What happens now on Countdown? Because I know it's still going. I haven't seen it for years.
No, but I heard that there's a renowned thing where you win a teapot or something, a blue Countdown teapot or something, wasn't there?
Oh, I don't know. I have not seen it for years, so I don't know. But
it's on early morning when I
yeah.
On Channel 4 or something.
Oh,
7 a.m. or something.
I bet it's very different.
I think it's a repeat of the afternoon show, but I'm at work then. So
yeah, that it's a good point though. I'm sure they abolished those encyclopedias.
Does that Giles Bransworth still go on it with his?
Oh, I don't know. Bransworth, yeah, like that. Bransworth. Yeah.
I don't know what his name is. Giles.
Yeah, it's Branning. Is it Branning? Charles? I don't know. Charles, whatever his name. There's a job no longer relevant. Door-to-door encyclopedia salesman. I know.
Actually, we've still got one in our town, right? And he goes around selling the internet.
Oh yeah, you could do that. Yes, yeah. You can knock on the door. So, do you want all this information?
Biggest encyclopedia you can have.
Yeah.
Do you want to join Talk Broadband?
Yeah,
and
get
you
Google
have all these
free.
You can have all these encyclopedias.
Yeah, we'll give you Google free. That's it. It's part of the deal on the internet.
Well, there's that. But during the 60s, every single salesman that was portrayed in a film or something was selling Hoovers or encyclopedias.
Yeah, Hoovers. Yeah.
I mean, they used to go around saying, "Look, I'm just going to put all this shit on the floor, look, and I'm going to show you how it can clean your carpets." Right?
Yeah, that's
and
right.
I'm going, so you're going to come in my house and you're going to put shit all over my floor. Right, and you're going to promise me that it's not going to do anything to my bloody carpets. Yeah. You on your bike, sod off. Yeah. I didn't want the Hoover in the first place, and now you're coming in and you're going to bring a lot of shit in with you. I mean, what a salesman! I mean, Christ,
yeah, that's right. It's true. I like that. It's bloody true. It's true. And now we have got Ginger Movies and TV. He says, "Good evening." Hello. Oh, and Tony says, "Evening, James." And then he says, "Hi, Tony." And then saw Minecraft yesterday with the family. Pretty decent to be
frank.
Yeah. So there you are.
I've heard several things. People saying the same thing. I think it's come out during the Easter holidays, which I think is a marvelous time for kiddies to go and watch it. So,
yeah. And then James says, "Did you throw your popcorn all over?" Oh. Do you remember a 90s medical drama called Cardiac Arrest? Yes, I do remember a Cardiac Arrest. That name rings a bell. Was it on BBC?
Don't know. You know what? During the 90s, the medical dramas I used to watch were things like St. Elsewhere.
Yeah, but I do remember it's a British one. It was a British one, that Cardiac
Well, I used to
Arrest.
watch General Hospital during the 70s.
Yeah, that still there's another one still going in there. Casualty, that's it. That's probably still going.
But General Hospital used to be followed by Crown Court.
Oh yeah, Crown Court, yeah. Yeah.
But St. Elsewhere, it's amazing, isn't it? St. Elsewhere was the first starring role for Denzel Washington, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it was funny, right? Because I remember watching St. Elsewhere, and Anthony Daniels would come on, right?
Yeah.
And he's got that very distinctive voice. And I was going, I've heard that voice somewhere before. And on Saturday, Knight Rider had come on, and the car would talk, and I'd say, he's in St. Elsewhere. How did he go from being a doctor in some bloody hospital thing? Now he's a voice in a talking car.
Yeah. Well, anyway. Now was a popcorn-free zone, and watch the
documentary. Can you have a cinema as a popcorn-free zone?
Yeah. It says, watch the documentary on Benny Hill on Channel 5. Wasn't the same after his show got axed in 1989.
Last week it was Benny Hill, and this week it was Kenny Everett. The cancellation of Kenny Everett. It was called the cancellation of Benny Hill, and it was called the cancellation of Kenny Everett. Both very sad shows, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
It's amazing, really. I mean, but Kenny Everett was. I mean, I loved as much as I loved Benny Hill. I always found that Kenny Everett's story was more sad.
Yeah.
You know, because it doesn't matter. He got sacked from everywhere, and yet he was doing all of these voices on radio, and he was such a live wire. He actually got Bohemian Rhapsody into the charts.
Yeah. Yeah,
you know,
that's right.
It to death once. He played it to death.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
And then he came in on the Monday, and suddenly that particular tune was like a number one song. You know.
Because they all said it was too long. You can't have a record that long.
And he said bollocks to that.
Yeah.
Bollocks to that.
Yeah.
He was ahead of the game.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, all of those characters that he you know, the bloke with the foam hands, you know, brotherly love.
Yeah.
You know, I used to one of the perks of having, you know, sometimes your dad working nights and all of that sort of stuff was the joy of being able to stay up on a Friday and watch the Kenny Everett show late at night on a Friday.
Yeah.
And watching Captain Kremen.
Yeah.
You know, there was this little cartoon that was in the middle of his ITV show called Captain Kremen. And it had Carla, and she had big knockers, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I tell you what, and that was drawn by the people that did Danger Mouse and that, you know.
Yes. Yeah.
Brilliant. He was ahead of his time. It was such a sad thing. Such a sad thing.
It was. That whole era. Nobody knew what was happening. So many.
Yeah.
And then he says, I've never been to Benidorm either, and I've no intention to. I know what you mean, Jamie. That would be my thoughts, exactly. Did you enjoy the film?
I think Vietnam's like Benidorm, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean,
he went to Vietnam the other day. I think he went to Benidorm. I think it's called. I think Vietnam is the Benidorm of that country. Isn't it?
Oh dear! What am I going to say? I'm saying notes about that. Jim Jumbo was in TV. Says, "Did you enjoy the film Brighton Rock original?" Of course, it's got brilliant Richard Attenborough. Who could not love Brighton Rock with Richard Attenborough. What an actor he was, and then become such a brilliant director. Love Richard Attenborough. Could talk about him so much, but I won't. But yeah, Brighton Rock, classic. And with the talk of lookalikes, when I was younger, I looked like Beaker from the Muppets. And to prove that life's crap, I now look like Beaker's boss, Dr. Bunsen Honeydew.
I must admit, Beaker in the Muppets was a bit weird when he had them big eyes. And he was carrying around a flask, you know, like a Bunsen burner, like a beaker like this.
It's very flattering, isn't it?
I used to like the Swedish Chef.
Oh, yes, yeah.
He used to go, because they used to do all these voices, didn't they? You had Cookie Monster. Everybody used to do the count, didn't they?
Yeah.
1.
The count. Yeah.
2.
You're making me wish that was all back on again. I wish it was, but it's had its time because they brought it back, didn't they? And it didn't do well.
Well, you know, when Jim Henson died and it was passed to his son, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But they carried on into the movies.
Yeah. Yeah.
How long has it been since there was a Muppet movie?
Oh, about a long time.
I don't think it's been that long. I think they were in the 2000s.
Oh. Yeah, there could be one about 2012 or
yeah,
around about that time.
I think it's probably been a good 10, 12 years. But
yeah. Something like that, yeah.
But they lasted so long. I mean, Fraggle Rock, I remember that.
It's still something. They could still make a Muppet movie now, you know, if they had the right, you know, intentions to want to. It's one of those things, I think. You know, it could just catch or something.
Anyway, Joe 90 was my Muppets, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. Tony says, great film, James. Brighton Rock. Have you seen the remake with Helen Mirren? No, I'm not. I have not seen the remake. No.
Oh, Michael Parkinson loves Helen Mirren.
Yeah, I'm sure he does. Yeah, a lot of people loved Helen Mirren.
Don't you remember the famous interview with Helen Mirren between Michael Parkinson, because he talked about her boobs, wasn't he?
Yeah, in that early film, she did a film where she was quite really, which I think is, I don't know what the name of the film is, but I'm sure it's on Indicator label because I've heard people mention it and say, "Oh, look, Helen Mirren's in this film." I don't know what the film is, but I bet somebody might know. That Vincent Price cooking show is something different. Oh yeah, I know that was had a release. Did you hear ITV cut most of the Carry On films when they were shown the other day on ITV? I haven't heard anything about that, but
they cut them for years.
Yeah, I heard that ITV had a lot of films, not just Carry On, that they cut for adverts, don't they? So they don't, you know, they've got a certain time that a film has to be, and they make cuts to fit them all in.
William Shatner's recently gone on record saying that everything on Paramount Plus, when you watch the original Star Trek, it's beyond recognition now. They've actually took loads of words out, all of this sort of stuff because of the political incorrectness of it all. They don't put a disclaimer up saying that this is a period of its time. They've actually cut it and not even told you that they've cut it, which is
disgusting. Again, it's another reason not to get streaming.
But it did make me watch Star Trek from the whole of season 1 on my DVD, on my Blu-rays.
Yeah.
And then I watched the ones that were on TV on Legend, I think it was.
Yeah.
And they are cut. Yeah, they are.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely at some time want to rewatch all that Star Trek original series. It's something I really get round to eventually. is on my list of things.
Oh, Star Trek is brilliant.
Yeah, I'd love to watch the original series again. It'll just bring back all those memories and
it's amazing.
Yeah.
I watch it all the time. I watch Star
Yeah.
Trek an awful lot.
Yeah. So,
The original series,
that's what I mean. The original. Well, mind you, I'm just as.
I'll watch all the ones that are so-called bad as well. You know, like Plato's stepchildren.
Oh, Plato's, yeah. Spock's brain.
Spock's brain.
Yeah.
Him going around on remote control.
Do you know what? Sometimes I watch these countdowns on YouTube. You know, I'll say worst to best. You know, Star Trek original series, and you watch them, and you think, huh? Why have they put that so low? You know, they put certain episodes that you think, well, surely they haven't got put Spock's brain on yet, and it should be near the bottom, and it isn't. Though I think maybe Spock's brain isn't the worst episode.
Oh no, I think
Plato's.
There's one that my friend and I both agree on. And that's down the rabbit hole, right? He turned around and said the worst episode that he's ever seen, and I keep forgetting what the episode's called, but it's where these kids are found on a planet and all the parents have died.
Oh yes.
And they beam themselves onto the Enterprise, and there's this malevolent force who's sort of like green, and they basically do this with their fists, and they can make people do things.
That's right. Yes. Oh,
it's bloody awful.
It's one of the early ones in first season, isn't it?
I think that's that's a second season episode.
Is it? Is that second season? I'll check that out. But I know what you mean. It is pretty awful.
Oh, there's the other one where they're all hippies.
That's the one I mentioned. Yeah, the hippie one. You can't help but wonder.
There's Spock with his guitar and that.
Yeah,
and you've got the guy that's in that the lead. No, not the lead. He's the second in command.
Yeah,
he's the guy that's in Rambo 2, who gets Rambo off into the forgotten his name. But they're singing all these hippie songs. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. And all this sort of stuff, right? And you're thinking, is this what we sing in the 24th century? Right? And they've got these costumes on that look like they're just nappies.
Yes.
With a strap going across.
Well, the budget was cut pretty considerably, wasn't it, on that third season? Season episode.
It's amazing because Kevin Pollak, he's the best guy to talk about how bad Star Trek is, right? He said you can never understand Star Trek: The Next Generation, right? Because you've got all these doctors and they can cure everything, right?
Yeah.
You know, they go like this.
Yeah,
cure for cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go, right? Go to Picard, cure for boldness. No.
Yeah.
No such thing as a cure for boldness. Right? Cure cancer. Hair loss, no fucking chance.
Yeah. Actually, you'd have thought, which they have done, haven't they, that they would have given Geordie something better than that visor. The idea must have seemed good at the time, but you'd have thought they have changed it, haven't they, now? He's got some sort of eye implant.
He's got contact lenses.
Yeah.
I mean, my God, man. How long have contact lenses been around?
They must have thought it looked cool or something.
Took them years to work that one out.
Yeah.
Didn't it? Took them years.
Oh, dear. Anyhow, let's carry on. Checkbook and pen.
Oh, blankety blank.
Yeah. Bendy Bully.
That's bullseye.
Yeah. The Generation Game.
Cuddly Toy.
Crazy. All these cuts to harmless films such as Carry-Ons. It is crazy, but there we are. That's why physical media is the best, as we keep saying. How do you split a speedboat on Bullseye? Yeah, Bullseye, the speedboat. Everybody mentions that prize. The speedboat.
Here's what you could have won. Yeah.
Yeah. Bloody speedboat. And you're thinking,
then again, how do you split a car? It's the same thing, isn't it? But it's just that it's always the same people, right? It's like, you come from Birmingham and we're giving you a speedboat. Where the fuck am I going to put a speedboat in Birmingham, right? I mean, it'd be a bad prize if you're in Blackpool,
Yeah.
right? Let alone I'm in the centre of the bloody country, right?
Oh, dear.
Where the hell am I supposed? I must admit the prizes were pretty,
Yeah.
awful.
The thing is, if you wanted to sell it, how would you sell it? It would be more difficult then to
There
sell.
was no
things.
eBay, was there?
Yeah, no. I suppose you'd have to put an ad in the newspaper for sale, one speedboat or something. That would be
but the trouble is,
way.
if you were to put it on eBay, right? I've got a speedboat from Bullseye, right?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, everybody would be looking at the figures to find out whether the Bendy Bully toy got sold for greater than the price than the speedboat did. Right? People would be looking at the sales of it and saying, look at that, look, the speedboat went for £1,000. The Bendy Bully from last week went for 10,000. Look at that.
Oh,
It'd be like, how crazy is this world we live in, right? That the Bendy Bully toy is worth more than the speedboat.
Yeah, imagine how much that you had to pay for it to be sent to whoever bought it. Could you imagine? You'd have to hire somebody to take the speedboat to these people. It would cost more than speedboat. I bet. I
bet you any money they delivered it and they said it doesn't come with the trailer. Where you have to buy a trailer.
Yeah, that's it. They'd be trying to say, "Oh, I want that trailer. You've just brought the speedboat in." No.
We just plonk the boat on your driveway. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. And you'd think how stupid you were that you'd bought a speedboat
capsized like this on its one side because they ain't got a trailer or anything.
So you get a teapot if you win a single episode of Countdown, but the overall champion would win the encyclopedia.
I knew there was a blue teapot involved.
Yeah.
I knew there was a blue teapot involved.
Time to unwind with the same classic Benny Hill from 1971. All right. By Jim Jam. It was great when Jim.
I remember some of the jokes from Benny Hill. They were brilliant, right? He used to do this thing, and he said, right, he'd get this dizzy blonde or something, and said, "Can you read this line, please?" And she'd say something like, "Look in the road ahead."
Yeah.
No, it goes. It says, "Look in the road ahead," not "Look in the road." Ahead.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
It do all that. That's what I liked about Benny Hill.
Yeah.
He used to use a play on words like Ronnie Barker did.
They never allow it now, but he used to do a Chinese kind of character.
Oh, he did,
Japanese. Yeah. And it was very funny. All these words he was saying all the time.
The actual Chinese liked him.
Yeah.
The Chinese liked him.
I bet they loved him. He was so funny, but you couldn't get away with it. His
most famous character was the one that used to do this, didn't he?
That's it. Yeah. What was his name?
Scuttle. His name was Scuttle, wasn't it?
Yes, that's it. Scuttle. Yeah.
Was it Frank Scuttle? Or something
I think it was Fred Scuttle.
Fred Scuttle.
Yes. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. 3-2-1 with Ted Rogers and Dusty Bin was my favorite back in the day. Still couldn't do it on my hand with the fingers. Yeah, everybody doing all that.
Oh, that.
Yeah. Nowadays it's a bit more.
Yeah, that is. Yeah,
two fingers.
Yeah. Yeah. But the thing I liked about that is everybody thought that you went home with that Dusty Bin with the big arms.
That awful thing
on remote control.
Yeah.
When actually all you did was get a metal bin. That's all you got.
I'm boring. Yeah.
Imagine going on eBay. Anybody want the Dusty Bin that I won last week off of 3-2-1, right? And everybody thinks that you've got the smiley face thing and it's got a remote control with it and it comes on the and actually you got delivered a bin. Yeah.
You'd be furious. Yeah. I always remember Jim Boy asked someone what they did for a living. They replied, unemployed. And he said, great, smashing magic. Yeah, you can imagine him. That's all
right.
he wasn't listening.
What he used to say was smashing super great.
Yeah,
Wasn't it?
that's all he said.
Smashing that super great.
He
Smashing
wasn't
super.
listening at all, probably. It was just. These clues on 321 were so convoluted and rarely made any sense. Yeah.
They never. They were.
By
the way, they were converted from French. It was a French show, wasn't it? It was a French ITV co-production.
Oh, right. I get you. Yeah.
And I never got it either. It was like, yeah. So you may remember that in the first act, we saw the color blue, and blue rhymes with you.
Yeah.
And you is right. And you're going, what the fuck are you on about? What drugs are you on? What do you mean? I'm supposed to get Dusty Bin because I saw something that was blue that rhymes with you, that goes with you, Ben, that goes round and roundabout, that's on the magic roundabout, that's got a dog called Dougal in it, and that means Dougal is the middle name of our Dusty Bin. So you've won Dusty Bin because it's the middle name Dougal. What the fuck? What?
Oh dear.
I also wanted a blue car. So where's my blue car, please? Because that's what I would have wanted, right? It's got blue in it, and blue's with you, and all that. You is a letter on the number plate that I was going to be getting in my head. Anyway, what's this crap? What's this crap that I've got?
Yeah, that's brilliant. I like that. Yeah. Sim Mole says, I think I'll go rat hunting in Birmingham this weekend.
Yeah, what are they?
That's a reference.
Are they in their 7th week?
To the
now?
bags, the bin strike.
I think they're in their 7th week now, aren't they?
Yeah, crikey!
The government still say that it's not a big thing.
Yeah,
it's not a big thing.
Yeah.
You try not having your rubbish taken for 7 weeks and see whether it's not a big thing to you.
And when it's all piled up in the street now, it's absolutely.
Just think about it in care homes where you've got incontinence pads, right? And they have to put them in blue bags and stick them outside for them to be taken away and all of that sort of stuff. And they are rank.
Yeah, imagine if this went on right into summer, and when it gets hot, and the stink. I mean, the stink now must be bad, but when the heat comes, oh my God. Surely they'll sort it out by then. I don't know. It's like 1978 to 9 and the winter of discontent. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that period. That was the same. But that was all over the country, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It wasn't just in one place. Yeah, I remember that. They used to say I had a look of Roland from Grange Hill when I was a kid. Cheeky gets.
Well, the thing about that was because they used to say that to me. They never used to say Roland. They used to go Roland. There was this girl that was black. I can't remember her name, but she used to be a friend of him, and she used to go Roland. I used to love you, Roland. Let's go and get a bag of chips, Roland. So he never used to be called Roland. He used to be called Roland.
Roland, a bit posher. Posher.
Honestly, it's because she was South African or something.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
From Trinidad or something. You know what I mean?
Tony says, "Age of Consent" with James Mason is the early Ellen Merlin film on an indicator. Oh, you've sold me even more because it's James Mason, but that's the one that gets mentioned quite a lot with Helen Mirren.
Yeah, I just want to say, Tony York, you creep.
No,
you utter creep. James Mason. I didn't realize, Ian, that you like James Mason. I think I'll just have to mention it. See whether that might get a rise out of Ian. Of course it does. Bloody James Mason, isn't it? He mentions it every bleeding week.
And then, actually, this is the last one, I think. Si says, I watched Helen Mirren in The Long Good Friday on Good Friday. Such a great film. Totally agree. Fantastic film. One at best.
Helen Mirren was on TV 2 nights ago on Legend TV, she was in an episode of Thriller.
Ah, yeah, Thriller.
And
Wow.
the
Yeah.
person that she was against was the Valiard in Doctor Who.
Oh, what's his name? Michael Jason.
Michael Jason.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fancy having
yeah.
Helen Mirren and Dave Jackson in it. He even had Arthur English in it.
Yeah, Arthur English.
He was a barman. He was a barman in a hotel in
it. We've got here Tony saying good night all, and thanks Tony for being here as well. And Sai says nighty night guys, thank you. And Steve Moore says good night all. I'm off to make a bacon butter. Oh yeah, lovely.
You bastard! You absolute bastard! Where's my bacon? Where's my bacon butter?
Well, thank you everyone that's been here. Thank you, Delboy, as well.
Yeah,
everyone.
Thanks for not promoting my channel this week, you miserable bastard.
8 people are watching, and I forgot to mention that. Please, if any of you 8 people haven't subscribed to Delboy's channel, please subscribe. I put his description in the description.
For all those people watching at 10 to midnight tonight, you know.
I totally forgot. I'm so sorry again. I really am. I should put a reminder up or have an alarm or something that goes off. But yeah, if any of you 8 people haven't subscribed to Delboy, please go over and subscribe. It's a great channel, and I'm waffling on, but honestly, it's a great channel, and he's been doing some really good stuff. He's on top form at the moment. It really is. I mean it. He's doing these wonderful trading card videos, and they've been absolutely fantastic. But you know, he's well known obviously for the blog, but he does so much more, as I keep telling you every week. And yeah, sorry about that, Delboy. That I should have done it earlier. I'm so sorry, but anyhow,
10 to bloody midnight, you miserable bastard.
It's gone down now. It's just we've just lost.
If he hasn't mentioned me during his sticker bloody album that's upcoming, I tell you, I'm gonna punch him in the face. He's only doing that off the back of my train.
Well, I did it. I did my football sticker album. That was a while ago, and it did well. I thought, oh, I'll do that. And then you're doing trading cards, and I thought, oh, people might enjoy this. So, yeah, following on.
Yeah, which came first? Did Delboy do trading cards before the sticker album? Or did the sticker album come out and I did the trade? I'll tell you what came out first. The bloody trading cards.
Brilliant. Thank you. Anyhow, so you just give your normal farewells. Thank you, everybody. And here's Delboy.
Bye.
You say a good night wake up. I don't.
It's good night from me.
And it's good night from him.
Good night.
No, carry on. Oh dear. I need the script. You
need to have a read time, you miserable bastards.
Excelsior, you've got to say.
Excelsior.
Yeah. Oh, blimey. I think you'll have to have a pay cut. Yeah, you're not doing the job properly, lad. Get it done properly. Anyhow, I'm going now. So all I've got to say is I'll see thee again. Oh, sorry. I missed this comment. What's that? Sorry. Good night, Jamie. My bed is calling. Good night.
Good night, you good-looking bastard.